Afternoon and welcome to News on the Go with me, Darius Johnny, and we are broadcasting to you live here at the Anti-Corruption Commission. The Commission has been investigating quite a number of people, and recently we were just given an update on their investigations as regards to Faith Musonda, a journalist. We know that the Commission recently, closed the matter where they were investigating her on her possession of over 65 million kwacha and also some, property in New Kasama. That's a house worth 6 million kwacha. Today, Queen Chiwe, who is a spokesperson of the Commission, gives us an update on the latest investigations that they have been, carrying on Miss Faith Musonda. And now I actually hand over to her. She is just beside me. Good afternoon and welcome to News on the Go.
Good afternoon and thank you very much, Darius.
All right, tell us, the latest update regards Miss Faith Musonda.
Okay, the latest actually is that the Commission has charged and arrested Faith Musonda. It's actually Margaret Chisela Musonda, alias Faith Musonda. This is for being in possession of property reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime that is contrary to the laws of Zambia. So Ms. Musonda has been charged with being in possession of property this particular time, namely a house. This is house number C5. 1D4B in Lusaka's Kingsland City, which is property reasonably suspected of being proceeds of crime, and this is contrary to Section 71, subsection 1 of the Forfeiture of Proceeds of Crime Act number 19 of 2010. The details are that between 1st of August 2020 and also 30th June 2021 in Lusaka, while she was acting with other persons unknown, Ms. Musonda did acquire a house number C51D4 in Kingsland City in Lusaka at a value of 185,000 United States dollars. So at this particular point in time, I would like to make a clarification on the settlement that was entered into between the state and Miss Faith Musonda, which was signed in October this year, not to prosecute her. This particular settlement was only restricted to the 65 million kwacha, as alluded to, the 57,900 United States dollars, and the house, which were surrendered to the state pursuant to Section 80 of the Anti-Corruption Act number 3 of 2012. So this particular settlement was restricted to the true disclosure of the above funds and property and did not give her a blanket immunity from being investigated or being prosecuted for any other offenses that Ms. Musonda may have committed. So we wish to state that the Commission later continued with its investigations and actually discovered that Ms. Musonda owns other properties that are suspected to be proceeds of crime. As a result of that, she was detained on 15th December 2021 and arrested on 16th December 2021 in accordance with the laws of Zambia. For now, she has been released on bond and she will appear in court soon.
Okay, thank you so much for giving us, this particular update.
Thank you.
You had the anti-corruption giving us, the latest as regards to their investigations on Ms. Faith Musonda. And according to what we have gotten from the spokesperson of the Commission, is that they have since, arrested Ms. Musonda on charges of acquiring or having properties reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime. And this includes a house in a Kingsland area, which house is worth 185 United States dollars. There are other clarifications that the Commission has made as regards the earlier seized properties that Ms. Musonda owned, such as a house in New Kasama worth 6 million and also the 165 million that they had seized. According to what Ms. Chiwe has told us, is that the seizure of those properties did not in any way meant that they had stopped investigating Ms. Musonda, because it is believed that there are other properties that she owns, and it is for this reason that they are now telling us of these fresh charges. She's expected to appear before court soon. The date hasn't been announced, but we know that she'll be able to appear before the Lusaka Magistrate Court to begin defending herself on these new charges. My name is Darius Jr. We'll give you an updated story on a Diamond News Desk. Alright, from me here with my camera person Charles Zulu, we cross back to the studio.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was a brilliant report coming through from Diamond TV. Big shout out to them. They are doing a tremendous job. Ladies and gentlemen, I go by the name of Nalula, and I am your humble and gracious host. And in today's live stream, we are going to be talking about Faith Musonda and the Clique of Thieves, because Faith Musonda ailetrera na futi, and obviously we heard the money that was forfeited to the state, right? That didn't really give her immunity from further investigations. Now, this is a very interesting case because a lot of people are going to be entangled into this particular debacle, and we are definitely going to be hearing a lot of big wigs involved in this particular case as the story develops. Now, my question to you is, exactly how rich is or was Faith Musonda? How did she amass such amount of wealth? And apparently, right, due to the fact that she forfeited the money, she was arrested by the ACC, the DEC, and all these good people. It really means that she can't really account for how she obtained these, or rather this property, and all these different amounts of money that are being discovered. So absolutely there isn't any way to verify the legitness of whatever business she is doing. So obviously Faith Musonda is just but one pawn, which is, or rather, who is definitely going to lead us like more and more people. So this is one of the reasons why this particular case is going to be something which is going to enlighten the nation with regards to how deep corruption, money laundering is, especially in our country. And a few months ago, right, I did give you the blueprint of the idea of money laundering and how, a lot of top government officials were able to sort of use slay queens. And a lot of you have got a tendency of admiring slay queens and all these people who are all of a sudden becoming wealthy. But you have to understand, it's easy to have a lot of money via dubious means, but prove it. Prove to the world that you legitimately run a business. You're able to show your ledger, your business ledger, and let the people know that this is how you got the money. Now that is the tricky part. So ladies and gentlemen, to all the graduates out there, to all the hardworking Zambians who are doing a credible job, earning money in a decent way, I just want to give a round of applause to you, because so we're also going to be talking about the fact that a person from Chawama who has strong ties with a prominent politician from Chawama. Now, this prominent politician from Chawama hasn't really been identified. But if you look at prominent politicians from Chawama, I'm sure there's just a handful. So we have a situation where Mr. Sipande Mugala was obviously being investigated by the ACC. Now, to all those of you who are Chawama natives, you already know Mr. Sipande Mugala and how influential he is and how many connections he has. Now, all these arrests and all these developments are leading up to one man or a group of specific people. So this is one of the reasons why I'm saying, look, there's obviously going to be need to unveil, or rather remove, the immunity of somebody, because all these cases are not really sinister. They you don't need to be a rocket scientist. But anyway, I'm not here to judge. This is one of the reasons why we have the ACC and all these powerful people to do their own thing. But the proof is obviously in the pudding. So according to this information, right, how much property does Faith Musonda have? How much money does she have? I'm a shopping malls. I'm a mansion. Now I'm being dramatic. Sorry, I'm just being a good presenter. Every presenter will win. Brother Oscar, how are you doing? Unmute yourself. Good evening.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Muna. Good evening. Thank you very much. I'm okay. The weather here is it's wonderful, beautiful summer winter weather. We are about 4 degrees Celsius, so it's quite a classic of winter season. And thank you to the viewers. Thank you to invite me to this wonderful Z Corner program.
Lovely. And before we continue, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to ask you on behalf of Z Corner to share this video. So we usually have a drill and something that we usually do on Z Corner. We come here with all the latest information. We bring you business people. We bring you entertainment. We bring you entrepreneurial related topics. We're basically putting in a lot of effort into getting this thing up and popping, if you know what I'm talking about. So the least that you can do is help a brother out. I'm asking of you to share this video. Share this video right now on your Facebook and in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to, because by the end of today's live stream, we definitely need to have at least 300 shares. Now, across the various platforms that we are streaming on, because we're on YouTube, we are on our Facebook main page, and we are also on our Facebook secondary page. So across these platforms, right, we are having over 500 people tuning in. So that really means that you guys are obviously trusting us to entertain you for the next few hours. So the least thing that you can do is obviously help a brother out and share this video. And we also need to have at least 500 likes. So in today's live stream, we are aiming for 500 likes and 500 Facebook shares. So ladies and gentlemen, let's keep on working. Let's keep on doing all those things because it really helps us get motivated. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about money laundering, how you can, I almost said how you can smartly do it. That's, criminality. We're not talking about that. No, but basically we're just going to be talking about, money laundering, etc., and all the things that you need to know. So keep on sharing until we're sharing at least 200. So everybody watching me on Facebook, Makamaka per Facebook, keep on sharing. We need to have at least 300 shares. In the meantime, let's read some of your comments. Catherine Hughes, I'm sure Catherine Hughes says hospitals had no medication and equipment and proper bedding. No proper water sanitation while people were dishing out millions of kwacha to the slay queens. Well done, ACC and police, keep it up. And I also want to say something. By ACC, we are closely watching you. And we advised, or rather we recommended to the president of Zambia, President Hichilema, that if there is any inefficiency in how these people are working, ACC, DEC, FIC, ZICTA, and the police force, it means we need to reshuffle. We need to fix them because we need results. We should be result-oriented, and I really believe that a lot of you understand that President Hichilema is result-oriented. Deliverables, and just producing results. That's all we need. So if any of these institutions are not really producing the amount of results that we need, recycle them, because we've got a lot of unemployed people, and the people who are willing to do a thorough job, they'll be given attention. So, Brother Oscar, tell us about the Faith Musonda fiasco and what you think about this whole situation.
Thanks again, Mr. Mona. Thank you. Definitely, this is quite an interesting argument and story, a dramatic story indeed. I don't think it has come as a surprise to most of the Zambians. You started in your preamble, Mr. Muna, by asking how rich our sister Faith Musonda was, what type of business she was doing in our profession. I think probably maybe to start from that point of view, Mr. Muna would say, well, it also raises a question mark. I think it has left a question mark to most of the Zambians, because she was not a super journalist. She was a journalist as many other journalists, especially at Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation and many private journalists in different sectors. So if the average, I think I'm not very bad in mathematics, if I'm not so that bad in mathematics, I would say that the average of the journalists cannot reach the amount that we have discovered our sister Faith Musonda possesses. So how rich was she? I don't think she that was a normal possession of wealth. I don't think so, because we cannot. Mathematics is not an opinion, Mr. Muna. Mathematics is a question of numbers. So 1 + 1 is equal to 2. Now, having found that in the first instance, Mr. Muna, having been found in possession of 65 million kwacha,
which is roughly around $4 million ETC, $6 million
roughly in their house, having been found with $57.9 million, and my goodness, another property. Well, it makes me shiver, first of all, and if at all this was right money and correct money, I don't think the IMF were going to give Zambia the debt relief. I don't think so, because if we have individuals with that capacity of possessing such amount of cash, my goodness. So this new case now, I understand, if my memory is very correct, I understand that there are two incidences here. The first, where the government went into discussion with Our Lady Faith, and they said, okay, give us the money, give us the property, give us everything that we have found, and we will let you go. Now,
yes, but that particular provision didn't really mean that they weren't going to do any further investigations.
Exactly.
So what happened is, whoever snitched, because I really believe there's a snitch in the Faith Musonda and the Clique of Thieves. There's a snitch somewhere. Somebody snitched on Faith Musonda. Or maybe Faith Musonda was just playing smart and she says, let me hand over this, no, and let me just lay low, because if I give them, they will like let me go and they won't be snoozing and just sneaking around my business. So that's what I think she did.
Mr. Mina, do you remember when our sister was under investigation, when they were asking for her whereabouts? The Anti-Corruption Commission were saying, we are looking for a lady who is on run. That was, I'm quoting the police. I'm not doing my assertion, but I'm quoting the police. The police says, we are looking for a suspected woman in possession of this and that and that. And Faith, I think, disappeared. If you can correct me there, might have disappeared for about 3 to 4 days, was it?
She didn't make her presence known to the police, so probably she could have been with her lawyers getting consultations, etc.
But not even to any Zambian, because such type of a case, not only the case that the police were hunting me. If it was me, I put myself in that case. If it was me, if the police were hunting me for such an amount, for such a big case, I think I would have even talked to my relatives or friends to say, well, no, you guys, if that is the suspicion, please tell anyone who is hunting and investigating, I'm here and soon I'll be back. Something like that was good. Now, so the disappearance in a short period of time, when the Anti-Corruption Commission were doing their investigations in the first instance, speaks louder, Mr. Muna, because it tells a lot. And in that period, definitely there were discussions with his lawyers and with his friends. And of course, they came to such a decision to say, well, if these guys are going to be so tough on us, let's just get rid of this amount. And everyone was saying, That money they found in their house, probably, Mr. Muna, I underline this word, probably, it was just a small percentage they found. Many
It was
people,
just
they
the
were,
tip of the iceberg. It is the
exactly,
tip of the iceberg.
exactly. A lot of people were saying, but I think probably that was just what remained in the house that they found. Finding those bags and all these things. I mean, normal money cannot be kept in that way. You don't keep.
Yeah,
Or
but
you.
brother Oscar, well, to me, I really think that was just like some sort of something to distract the people of Zambia, the investigators, etc. I think she purposely did that to let the people of Zambia sort of forget about this, and in the meantime, she's got other properties elsewhere. But the plan backfired
Yes, I
because
would.
nobody in their sane mind would give up 65 million kwacha when they know that they've got other pending issues which can get them nabbed. So I really think their plan was like, okay, if we forfeit this amount of money and the property, the state is probably going to let us go, and we're just going to be singing kumbaya, and we're going to be drinking mungo and chiwantu, but the plan didn't work because the ACC, they're vigil, but anyway, go on.
I think also, as you have also not, and there's a lady, I think there's a lady that made a comment, Mr. Muna, I don't remember the name. The lady that made a comment said, these people are busy entertaining their slave queens. Anyway, I'm just quoting, I don't want to judge. I'm not saying that Faith Musonda was a slave queen, but I'm saying the suspicion is that these people were entertaining their slave queens, and on the other side, we are having our brothers and sisters dying in the hospitals because there was not enough medicine.
Yeah, that's coming through from Catherine Hughes, by the way. She says this. This is what you're talking about, right?
Kathleen Hughes. Thank you, Kathleen Hughes, for that wonderful comment. And because I would say that, well, it's quite unacceptable, and it is very amazing. It's amazing that people were dying in the hospitals. We didn't have medicine, and by then we even imported some COVID-19 medicine, and it disappeared. It disappeared. We didn't even know. Then there's that case they found at the hospital, at the airport. The COVID vaccine entered into Zambia. They discovered that they were fake COVID vaccines, and somebody informed the nation to say, well, we will destroy those medicines. We destroy them because they were not valid, and they did not qualify the standards for good medicines in Zambia. All these, which I can call myself scandals, all these scandals raises a serious question, Mr. Muna. I think our lady, our friend Faith Musonda is not alone. She is not alone, and I think kudos to the Anti-Corruption Commission to have continued following this case, just as.
Yes. Now, Brother Oscar.
Yes.
I've got a few questions for you, because now we're going to play a role game. We're going to play a game.
Yeah.
Brother Oscar, let's say you're this tycoon, you're this minister. You're privileged to siphon money out of the Zambian coffers, and you've got so much money, you do not know what to do with it. So my question to you is, how can you properly, distribute those funds? And how can you be able to money launder? So while you're thinking about that, let me remind our viewers to keep on sharing. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to share. Share. Everybody who's watching me right now, kindly help a brother out. Share the video. We need to have 300 shares. So if you're just rolling through, I can see we have about 700 people watching us across the various platforms. We are streaming on YouTube, by the way. Big shout out to everybody watching us on YouTube. Big shout out to our Z Corner Facebook main page. If you are watching us on the Z Corner main Facebook page, big shout out to you. And also big shout out to the people watching us on Z Corner TV, which is our secondary page. So altogether, we are streaming on 3 platforms simultaneously. So everybody on all those different platforms, share this video, especially on our Facebook main page. Make sure we have about 300 shares. How can we have about 700 people watching us and we only have about 47 shares? Come on, guys. Icon aware. This is very important. Come on, keep on sharing. Share this video on your Facebook timeline and in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to. Also hit the like button. Hit the like button. Make sure we've got at least 500 likes before we continue, because 3 minutes there detail, 3 minutes there juice and all that stuff. So I hope if you're winner, by the way. So kindly help a brother out, and then you guys are going to help us grow. Anyway, brother Oscar, you are a minister with a lot of money, and you are privileged enough to have friends about utukondo. Long-fingered people who sniff around the Zambian coffers, people who make sure that they squeeze the sweat out of hardworking Zambians, the hardworking Zambians who are paying tax money, tax payers money and all that stuff. I'm a taxi, ETC, I'm a toll gate, I'm a Lusaka City Council, all that money. People are sniffing and going in the Zambian coffers, and they are empowering. I'm a slay queens. I'm a slay queens were being empowered, boss. I'm a slay queen. What's the qualification of a slave queen to receive such amount of property and money? What was Faith Musonda doing to get all this amount of money? It's a rhetorical question, by the way.
Mr. Moon, I'm telling you, I think our sister's Faith Musonda is not alone. She's not alone. Well, let me first of all answer to your direct question to say, if at all you presume, if I was that rich man, what would I do? And I think definitely I will I would look first of all in terms of the possible outcome of the election. That was the first thing, because here the key thing was the election, the outcome of the election.
Profound point. And brother Oscar, before you continue, look at the transaction dates. If you listen to that interview, right, these movements of cash in and out were done prior to the election. Come June, come May, before my elections. Anyway, continue.
So, first thing, if I'm a serious big fish in business, I'd look at the first thing is to see the possibility of having a positive outcome of the elections. Once I deduce that we are losing, then, well, first of all, let me go back. Before I can get the outcome of the elections, I have to also count the so-called plan B. I have to have the plan A. And also I have, if I'm a serious businessman, or well, not a serious businessman, a con. If I'm a con, but I'm a businessman, but I'm a con. What does a con do?
Business con.
Yes. So you have to prepare also a second plan B. You have plan A and you prepare a plan B. And once plan A is going to fail, that means the results of the elections are going to be negative. I resort to plan B. So if I was a businessman, the plan B now should be put in implementation. And of course, definitely, Mr. Mona, the plan B is to divert as much resources as I am in possession, to hidden names, hidden individuals, and fictitious companies. Fictitious, OGM, non-government organizations, fictitious names, just like.
By the way, you brother Oscar, coming with a juice tonight. Do you know which other prominent slave queen in Lusaka, who everybody knows, by the way, and everybody thirsts over this person, who's got a non-governmental organization?
Yes.
I'll let the viewers, do the connection. So, viewers, let us know who we are talking about. There is a profound slave queen in Lusaka who we saw coming up with an NGO. Let us know in the comment section.
My dear Mr. Muna, my dear Mr. Muna, it's classic for squinders. It's classic to use this because normally the society, they trust somebody doing a non-government organization, somebody doing a charity work, The ordinary people, they support them very much, Mr. Muna. And even our country, I think we have paid a lot through these organizations. They have come and they have swindled a lot of our resources. So I was a big fish and we have lost. So the first plan has failed. The second plan, Mr. Muna, is to hide all my cash in fictitious names and organizations. And
fictitious names and characters and slave queens. Now, bosses, before you move on to the next point, I want you to explain how an NGO is a proper outlet for money launderers, because I understand, organized crime is a $1 billion industry. Organized crime, and money laundering is part of organized crime. So just let the people know why an outlet like a non-governmental organization is a prime outlet for money launderers, and why they love NGOs. Let them know. Let the people know.
Here I'm talking to you Zambians. I have this privilege to have also experienced the life in Europe, and especially I've lived for some 4 years in England. I have stayed here in Italy for many years, about 20 years here in Italy. So in England, so some 4 years for my advanced studies. And I consider myself a privileged person. Now, I came to join Muna on this program because Muna touches a lot of youth. He's a young man. He's a young man and a very, very programmatic young man. And I saw that he has that capability to touch a lot of areas, and he can reach a lot of young people, young men and women. That's why I came and say, well, let me share my experience. So what happens? Why do they choose this? Mr. Mona, here in Europe, for example, we have the question of immigration, illegal immigration. Allow me to give this example. We have a question of illegal immigration. Now, there is immigration which comes from Africa through Libya, Mr. Muna, with those ships and boats. There are those boats, funny boats, and well, some of them, they are very dangerous. We have lost a lot of a lot of African friends and relatives in the move from Africa to the southern parts of Italy. So many of these big fish, Mr. Muna, they invested in the so-called non-governmental organizations who possesses, they have in property big how do you call this? Big transport boats, big ones, huge ones. They can transport something like 300 people at a go, but they are called non-governmental organization, Mr. Muna. But some of them, really, they have been caught that they are doing that for a business purposes, not to help those African, our brothers who are desperate to come and live a better life in Europe. So they go from Nigeria, from Ivory Coast, from Tunisia, from Morocco, from Ethiopia, and they come through Libya and they enter into Europe through southern part of Italy. The place is called Sardinia. It's an island. It's a small island called Sardinia. Through Sardinia, when they reach Sardinia with those big ships, yeah, that's the word I wanted to say. They are big ships, which is written by Mr. Muna. Give me an example to put this. Oscar non-government organization help for people on the sea or on the ocean. So they carry these people and they enter them into Europe. Now, there has been a fight, Mr. Muna, in Europe to look at who possesses these non-government organizations who are going to save the lives of people in northern parts of Africa. Then they have found out, Mr. Muna. Of course, we are public now. Some people are listening to us. This is the truth. I'm not condemning no one.
Yes.
They have found out that
brother
some
Oscar,
of them, they are
it's
quite.
been more than 1 hour, 1 minute, 90 seconds. You haven't answered my question. Why do money launderers use NGOs?
It is because it is very comfortable to hide, Mr. Mona, to hide dirty tricks and dirty jobs in non-governmental. Why? Because the people, they trust the name non-governmental organization. Which means,
from a final perspective, basically non-governmental organizations are the best outlets because it's easy to fix the books. You know, you can easily say so-and-so person donated this amount of money. Imagine you steal, I don't know, 65 million US dollars, 65 million kwacha. It's very easy for the non-governmental organization to say, we got a donation from so-and-so people. With an NGO makes money via donations, etc. So nobody's really going to ask you a lot of questions where the money is coming from if you've got well-wishers. So with regards to fixing your books, your checks and balances, your ledger, your ins, your outs, etc., it's very easy to fix the books. So that's why a lot of money launderers use such outlets like NGOs. But anyway, move on.
Okay. Also, as you have just said, Mr. Mona, also there is another aspect here. Some people, they get in deals. They fell in deals with those non-government organizations. For instance, I come to you, Mr. Mona, and I say, we are going to donate $5 billion US for this project, because you are helping a lot of people on one condition. Then they will give you I will give you a condition, Mr. Mona, and you have to attend to such a condition. So whether me and you, apart from the well deeds we are doing for the people, whether me and you, I'm benefiting, and I'm telling you, Mr. Mona, I give you 5 billion. What do I get as well in change? Such transactions, it's quite possible. So some of people with a hard heart, really, not to call them criminals, but a hard heart, some of these people, they use the non-government organizations to manipulate or to transact or to move their cash. In Zambia, yes, of course, definitely in Zambia, there are no checks, very serious checks and balances. There is no serious checks and balances. This, I think, also our president is going to do a lot of, he will do much better than the previous government. But exactly. Here in Europe, there is a lot of checks and balances. So really, they find it very hard to hide under the non-government organizations. But it's
what other outlets are used besides NGOs? Do you know any other outlets are used to money launder?
Mr. Mona, well, I know some of them, but I think on a social network, if I disclose that, maybe I might be in hot soup.
All right, no, I mean, but you can disclose. Like, let's say, for example, the easiest way money launderers use to clean their money is cash-heavy businesses like casinos, where people go with stacks of cash, they're betting. It's easy to, overinflate whatever sales you had in a day. So cash-heavy businesses are the easiest ways to launder money. So this is one of the reasons why, if you look at most of the shopping malls, right, you would wonder, how come these shops are still running, but on average, they barely get any visitors, especially like a number of shops in our shopping mall. There's barely visitors going there, but these shops are paying heavy rents. They're never defaulting on their rents. They're always having money to pay for the expenses that the shop goes. This is you know, because they are doing some shady stuff back door, and different outlets are fronts. It's basically called a front, whereby you act like you've got a business, but you know that your main source of income is something else, and you're able to sort of overinflate your sales. Let's say, for example, you've got a restaurant, right? Because a restaurant also deals with, you know, heavy cash, unless nowadays where there's ordering and delivery, etc., and you have to make financial transactions. But usually in a traditional setup, restaurants are cash heavy with regards to the transactions that they make. So let's say, for example, on a daily basis, you earn about 50,000 kwacha on your daily sales. If you want to money launder, right, you can overinflate, and let's say you're making 300,000 kwacha. So your 50,000 kwacha is being sort of supplemented with the 250,000 kwacha that you are using backdoor, you know, methods. But this is going to take you a very long time to clean money. Let's say, for example, you've got 10 million kwacha to money launder, and you've got the restaurant, and you're using it as a money laundering outlet. It's going to take you years to clean up that money. You understand? So this is why, by the end of it, these people still have a lot of money, and they're still being nabbed, because it takes a long period of time to money launder and to really prove that the money was legitimately earned. So Nangwai Bempia Ishingi, using financial transactions and the type of businesses that you run, it's impossible to justify the amount of money that you have, because people are going to be asking you, how did your business earn so much money? You can't really prove it, because on a daily basis, and it's very easy to project the type of market that you are in. So heavy cash businesses are the easiest ways to launder money. So casinos, restaurants, NGOs, and
In
just,
Zambia,
you know,
in Zambia, football. I would add football as
even
well.
football. Yeah. Even, let's say now, if I say music, now everybody is going to be thinking about a certain person, you know. But anyway, let me not go there. But it is what it is. Now, Brother Oscar, so why Faith Musonda? Why would you use Faith Musonda when, you know, like Faith Musonda is not like a low profile person. Everybody knows that Faith Musonda was a public person. She's a journalist, and obviously the other businesses that she has, right? They can't really generate such amount of money. But why would somebody out there decide to use Faith Musonda? Why? Why
Mr.
of all
Mona,
people Faith Musonda?
Mr. Mona, if you look at what has happened, I think it was going to be impossible for us, even for the Anti-Corruption Commission, to reach that lady Faith Musonda, because if you remember the first house that she possessed in New Kasama, or is it New Kasama, the first one, which has been given to the government? If you remember, it was a very, very segregated and isolated place. Nobody knew that there was that villa there, beautiful house. Nobody knew until that scandal. Now, nobody was going to reach that lady. Why Faith Musonda? Nice question. I think my answer might be, I don't think it was the credibility and
you know, I'm asking why Faith Musonda, because if you want to money launder, you have to make it believable. That's why I gave you an example of using fronts. You know, like you use a fake business, you make it believable. But using Faith Musonda, how? Come on, you don't need to be a rocket scientist.
Mr. Mona, the question is, I'm not going to say, well, they used Faith Musonda because she was credible in this and that. They used Faith Musonda just as they might have used many, many other women, which we have not yet discovered.
Not yet.
Not yet. The Anti-Corruption Commission have not yet discovered. The question is, what I wanted to point here, Mr. Mona, is this: why this lady first? Yeah, that's the adjective. Why Faith Musonda first? It's because
Brother Oscar, I see where you're drifting to. But anyway, go on.
So it is because of the credibility does not go to according to me, the credibility does not go to the Anti-Corruption Commission. The credibility goes to the whistleblower.
Yeah, and who's the whistleblower?
No, it has been hidden. The whistleblower.
Mwebantu.
In
Mwema
faith,
viewers, we need to find out the snitch and the whistleblower in the Faith Musonda. Look, we have over 800 live viewers watching us. So, people, let's do our Googles. Let's research who's the whistleblower, who snitched, and why. I'm kidding. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to remind you. Let me just remind them to share. I'll get back to you, Brother Oscar. So we have over 800 people watching us across various platforms. Big shout out to everybody on YouTube. Big shout out to everybody on Facebook, our main page and our secondary page. So what I want you to do right now is share this video. Our target for tonight is 300 shares minimum. And we also need to have at least 500 Facebook likes on this particular broadcast, because we're giving you the information that you need. We're also entertaining you, and we're keeping you company, because today is a Saturday and everybody is probably just laying and just chilling. So we are chilling with you. So the best thing that the best way that you can help us grow this particular platform is by helping us. How do you help us? By sharing. We're just asking of you to share this video on your Facebook timeline and in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to. Tag everybody. Tag I'm a slay queen over my, because slay queens need to understand. They need to know that I'm a lifestyle. They are going to be victims. Now, why are we talking about this, which seems to be a very controversial topic? Number one, because we're Z Corner and we have no limits and we have no boundaries, and we talk about everything that is in public domain. So this is obviously a developing story, and basically we are trying to use this information to make it a teachable moral stories. A lot of people can learn from it. So to all the slave queens out there, to all the people who like fast life, you could be a victim. You could be a victim, because I really believe no mother, especially a single mother, I really believe, well, if I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me in the comment section, is Faith Musonda a single mom or she's got a husband? So I do not really genuinely believe that a mom would get into such dubious businesses where her, freedom could be at stake, if you know what I'm saying. So she probably went into this thing because she was naive, because it was too good to be true, and she just didn't know better. Because I know a lot about organized crime. I know a lot about money laundering. I know a lot about how to make money the shady way. So it's very easy for me to pinpoint illegalities, and it's very easy for me to remove myself from any potential danger, if you know what I'm talking about. So if more people are able to be able to make sane judgment, I'm sure a lot of families could be saved. Because let's think about this. Let's say, for example, Faith Musonda gets taken away. I mean, the kids are going to suffer, right? And there's probably going to be some very bad domino effects. So it's very important for us to get educated and for us to avoid these things, Anyhow, I hope you have shared. Let me see how many shares we have. We only have about 271. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have about 19 more shares that we need in order for us to reach 300. And continue liking this video. We're on YouTube. We're on our Facebook main page, and we are also on our Facebook secondary page. So, tag everybody. Please let me know. And we are also asking you a lot of questions. So, you need to participate. Your participation is very much needed. So, anyway, Brother Oscar, getting back to you, what's the story? Where did you end?
You went around, Mr. Mona. I think you have a bit confused me.
Yeah,
we are on laundering, money laundering here.
Yeah,
okay.
Okay, hold on. We were here. Why Faith Musonda? That's the question. Why?
Yeah.
Why her?
Yeah, I said why Faith Musonda. And I think I remember, Mr. Mona, where I left my exposition is that I think she's not alone. This lady, she's not alone. Unfortunately, this lady has been discovered. I repeat, my theory, this is my theory. It's not the fact, because I have not done the investigations. The Anti-Corruption Commission are the ones who are doing the investigation. So my theory is this. I think it's kudos to the whistleblower. Because I'm telling you, Mr. Mona, it's just the whistleblower who said there was just too many bags of cash in this house. Okay, and from that whistleblower, the police 100 and they got on faith. So how many whistleblowers can help the Anti-Corruption Commission? Probably that is another question.
Yeah, and we also need whistleblower protection policies, because by the end of it all, I have a lot of friends in government, you know, standing on a lot of a power of information. I mean, some idea, you know. But these people, they are afraid, saying, look, a lot of them, you know what they usually do? Because on Z Corner, we really get a lot of intel. Trust. We do get a lot of intel. People DM us crazy information. And sometimes, you know, I just can't do anything without information, because by the end of it, we've got a business to run and we don't want to jump. So people have got access to information. So we need to protect the whistleblower.
Yeah, you are right, Mr. Muna. Actually, here in Europe, they are protected. They have government security, and they do not disclose their faces to the public. A whistleblower is not supposed to be disclosed to the public, because he or she has a family. She has maybe children to take care of. She has relatives. So they never, and I repeat, they never disclose the identity of whistleblowers. So we hope also in this case, the government is going to support and hide, definitely hide the identity of this person who is a precious person who have helped us. And well, so
now, Brother Oscar, I've got an alternative version. Now, I know there's over 800 people watching us, but it's just you know, between us and the viewers. But okay, this is my wildest theory, and I'm just speculating here. This is just speculations from the House of Z Corner.
Yeah.
What if a big what if in inverted commas, slash apostrophe? What if umuntu yu is connected to Canavesa? People who we can't mention names. What if, because you know, there's too many slay queens. For example, HK says certain slay queens in Lusaka can be found driving Range Rovers, yet they've never earned more than 3,500 in a month. I agree with him. But HK, yes, there's a lot of slay queens who only earn less than 7,000, but Oko Vekala and what type of cars they are driving, dirty ulondolede. And getting back to the Faith Musonda, apparently she's the only slay queen who's been nabbed. Is she the representative of, or is she the president of Slay Queens, the Slay Queens Association of Zambia? Is she the main representative? What if Slay Queen is the way to this? I'm trying to use it Songwapa. This it's Songucha. But what if she's the back door entrance to this king? I don't know if I say king, people know what I'm talking about.
Anyway, what we have deduced, I think here also the Zambians. I'm happy the followers are giving us some inputs on the comments. So keep it up, Zambians, please participate. You have the same possibility, the same probability to help the country, just as we are doing. This is just a simple service we are doing, me and especially the responsibility of Mr. Mona and his ideas and his courage and his love to participate in the national issues. So even you followers, the viewers, please continue. Give us your input. Provoke us with your questions.
Provoke us, because Z Corner is Idi Ashidi Apade Sunday in HD. Were you listening to Idi Ashidi Apade Sunday?
Yeah, wonderful.
Big man, Tina, actually happened. So they are watching the horror movie. Man, this is so basically Zekon is like it should happen on Sunday in high definition. But anyway, we digress.
The question of our sister is just I would say that she might have been an unfortunate. Even the people around or behind
I don't think. I think it's very
my dear. The people around this girl, I think they would say, my little lady, why were you so that careless? And she would say, come on, my boss, I was careful. I was not moving. Everything was closed. And she would mention some funny names to say, I think it is just that disgruntled person who works for me, who did this and that. Oh, it is that disgruntled cousin of mine, because he hates me. He is jealous of me. He has envy of me. Mr. Moon, I think something of that sort might have happened. Might happen. Probably this lady is going to accuse someone, maybe a relative, or the one who was.
It's not really a matter of accusing somebody, because you have to provide tangible evidence. Tangible evidence. And you know what, Brother Oscar? The other day I was watching Honorable Bowman Lusambo on, is it Diamond TV or, either Ask Movie TV, I think, yeah. He was saying, name one minister who has been nabbed on corrupt practices for corruption. Bowman Lusambo challenged the interviewer. I think that was IK Innocent something. IP, is it IP from Ask Movie TV? Bowman Lusambo said, name one minister who has been arrested for corruption. Now these ministers, they know the game. They know how to use pawns. Don't you think Faith Musonda is just a fallback piece for these big wigs? And what if Faith Musonda is holding the Pandora's box? Because we usually say she's going to open Pandora's box. What if Faith Musonda is holding the Pandora's box?
Mr. Moon, I think what I thought today when I heard about the arrest of our sister, I said, the first thing, the police, and this can be also in form of an appeal. I might appeal to the police as well. They need to guard this lady now. This woman needs to be protected day and night, 24 hours. And anything can happen. Unfortunately, I'm telling you, is something that happens here in Europe. When they
should be under, is it police witness protection or something?
Yes, they have to.
Yes,
they have to.
Witness protection.
Because this is a sensitive case. And Faith Musonda, if the people, I'm not going to pinpoint, I'm not going to name specific.
We can speculate, bosses. We can speculate.
Let us speculate.
Allegedly, reportedly.
If
Kidding.
No, if the people around this lady are going to suggest, oh my goodness, I think we are not going to survive this case. Okay? They tell the bosses, this case is done. We cannot survive it. What happens is this. Do you remember, Mr. Muna, that certain individuals, they went and they destroyed evidence of criminality?
Voucher math, bosses. Yeah. But they can just, they can donate to Zcon and we'll distribute the funds. So she said, I'm joking.
What I'm saying, it's a joke, crime, by the way. But it's something serious. We understood, I think it is 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, there is a structure which was destroyed and they bent it because it was holding evidence. You remember that?
Yes.
It was
bosses, you're coming with the juice. I remember. Viewers, let us know what building was recently destroyed because there was evidence. I think one of these governmental buildings.
Yes. There was evidence in that building. And then in the morning, we just discovered that they destroyed it. And of course, all evidence went lost. So now, if that structure was bent and the evidence went away, my fear is our sister might be in danger. If really there is something so serious behind her, she's in danger.
But bosses, don't you think Faith Musonda Kapondo? Because
in danger.
Bosses, now listen to this. Faith Musonda Kapondo deep diole mwaide, because number one, in order for you to get yourself entangled in these things, you should be a person of a certain moral threshold, and you see, if you're not really a person of that ilk, if you're not really built like that, you can't be in such situations. So Pakti umuponde faith I pompe, and that's in a Ndasenko feka 65 million. Ina ndasenko fe utuma properties. Nishka pondo. She's mentally and the kapondo kind of bosses. She knew what she was getting into. And of course she didn't really know that it could turn out ugly. Let's do this. If the PF didn't lose, Faith Musonda, she could have been a legend. She could have been representing Amaslay Queen. She could have been the epitome. She could have been creme de la creme Amaslay Queens. That's what I'm saying. Perhaps Faith Musonda is the queen of slay queens because she's the only one who's getting this slapping from the ACC, you know? So, allegedly, reportedly. Now I'm playing. But if PF didn't lose, Faith Musonda wouldn't have gotten anything from the ACC.
No, she was going to be comfortable, and really we would have respected and we would have had a fear of this lady. So I think anyway, what has happened about this? We have really discussed a lot about this lady, Mr. Muna. I think what has happened about this lady is, well, in this drama, she's unfortunate and she has many questions to answer. And unfortunately, these questions are criminal questions to answer. She has a lot to answer, What do I wish myself? If at all I had a wish, I would wish she can point to the head of this rotten fish.
Yes, that really coincides with Kathy Chambika. Kathy Chambika says they should protect this girl. Obviously, she's not alone in this. Otherwise, they will wipe her before she reveals it all. So yeah, this really talks about the point that you raised, Brother Oscar, about protecting her. So ACC, police force, protect Faith Musonda at all costs, because without Faith Musonda, a lot of these people are obviously going to go away.
Yes.
And, we're just going to lose. And by the way, Brother Oscar, do you think there was backlash from the ACC, or rather directed towards the ACC and the DEC when they announced that Faith Musonda has been left scot-free when she forfeited the money? Do you think the public uproar sort of opted the Drug Enforcement Commission and the ACC to sort of say, look, I'm a Zambian Z, they want action? So let's get back and provide more evidence.
No doubt. There is no doubt.
Now, do you think that the ACC have got the audacity to sort of, okay, let's say, for example, Faith Musonda receives all the blame. Let's say Faith Musonda doesn't snitch, because I really believe Faith Musonda Pondo. She knows about Ama ethics, thou shall not snitch. Wow, slay queen. She knows all those Bibles from the Slay Queen book of slaying. So if she decides not to snitch and bites the pill and says, look, I'm going to do my bid. It is what it is. I'm not snitching. When I get out, I'll be good. Do you think the Zambian people are going to be clapping saying, yes, Baba, you have given us faith. We're satisfied. There shall be no more persecutions. And the big man goes, the big fish goes.
Mr. Muna, I think I have discovered something after these elections. The Zambians, they suffered a lot. A lot of Zambians suffered. A lot of families, a lot of individuals suffered. And they were so tired. They wanted someone to help them. Now, this time, the Zambians are not going to be in peace when you just say, sweep this deity under the carpet, Mr. Mona, as we say. You sweep the deity and you put it under the carpet and you stamp on the carpet, and the carpet is looking beautiful and smiling and splashing and beautiful carpet. No, the Zambians have decided it is not going to be enough to be stamping on a fantastic and wonderful carpet, whilst underneath this carpet, there is a lot of dust and dirty. That's what I've deduced myself. Zambia, especially Mr. Muna, the youth have reached that position. It's not enough for them. The elections have gone, of course, unburied. But is it enough for the youth? No, Mr. Muna, the youth are not, they don't want just this story this time to be buried. I remember during the campaign, the youth were saying, the Zambians, they forget easily. Anyway, Zambians just wait for 2 weeks and then they forget. I can see, Mr. Muna, now some change.
Yes.
Zambians, they don't want to forget.
Yes.
Some of our friends from the Patriotic Front, they are saying, you have won the elections. Govern this country. Don't start pinpointing on us as PF and all the wrongs that we did. And the Zambians are answering to our friends in the PF. They are saying, our friends, please, we cannot forget. You are the reason our state, our country is in this situation.
Correct.
So
correct.
Allow us to discuss. Allow us to confront. And this is fantastic. Definitely, it's I appreciate this. So
yeah, now, Brother Oscar,
the lady yes, go on.
You raised a very great point. You said Zambians want accountability. Now, just look at the what do you call it's is it the flashback or the shiny that President Hakainde Hichilema is getting from the fuel thing? Do you know how much pressure they are giving President Hakainde Hichilema about the fuel, past promises that he was giving them? So at this particular moment, there is a paradigm shift. Zambians want accountability. Zambians deserve accountability, and Zambians are going to devour you if you backtrack on your words. If you give them something contrary to what you promised them, there's definitely going to be heavy accountability. Let me give you a practical example. Shaman Musonda. Is it Shaman Musonda? She, this is what she did. Now, I'm going to talk about Shaman Musonda, and it's going to get dicey. Now, listen. Shaman Musonda, at the apex of the campaign trail, she decided to defect and go to the Patriotic Front. After they lost, she wanted to backtrack and go back to the UPND. Do you know the amount of uproar coming from Imizimai Yaku UPND? Kwadi kafuafoku.
And they refuse.
Accountability.
That's the maturity that I'm saying. Now, Zambians are not going to accept, Mr. Muna. Zambians, especially the youth, this is an appeal. I'm appealing to the leaders, our politicians. Don't play with the youth now.
Do not.
There are other questions that I would like to also to ask and provoke the ruling government. And today, probably, we are not going to touch this button. And that is the resources, the way the government is going to run our resources. I'm not going to touch this point now because it involves even the ruling government. But the youth, Mr. Muna, what I've discovered, they are not going to tolerate. They are not going to forgive us anymore because our young boys, our young men and women, they have gone to school. We are not going to cheat them today to say, just sing alewelapo, sing together, alewelapo, talk together, alewelapo. What is alewelapo? We don't know. Oh, just sing, sing, alewelapo.
Yeah.
No, now the young people, I think they are not going to be deceived in that way. The youth especially.
Definitely. Zambians are able to decipher and sniff the bullshit, for lack of a better term. Bleep. They are able to sniff and decipher everything that is happening. So to all the politicians out there, look, Zambians are going to hold you accountable. And Zambians are watching. They are very vigilant. So be careful with what you say. Be careful with what you promise, and be careful with your actions, because Zambians deserve accountability. Anyway, Brother Oscar, getting back to our main topic, because this is what the people came for, but I need to remind the viewers, kindly share the video because we are having over 1,000 people watching us live on across all networks. We are streaming from YouTube. So big shout out to the people watching us on YouTube. You know yourselves. Big shout out to people watching us on our Z Corner main Facebook page. We have over 560 followers. We are over 800 people on our Z Corner main Facebook page. We also have the Z Corner TV channel, which is our supplementary and secondary Facebook page. So big shout out to everybody watching us on all these various platforms. So I want to ask you right now to share this video because we have over 1,000 people watching us. Kindly share the video. We are only asking for 500 shares. So we did very well. You guys did help us achieve our goal because we have 300 shares and now we need to have another milestone. We need to go to 500 shares. So everybody watching me right now, if you just joined us, kindly hit the like button because we need to have at least 700 likes. We only have 453. So we need about, like if my mathematics is right, we need about 247 more likes in order for us to reach our 700 likes on our Facebook main page, and also continue sharing because we are 200 shares away. So all the people that joined us, everybody right now, share the video on your timeline and in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to because we are giving you edutainment. We are giving you a lot of exciting information. So the least that you can do is help us grow the platform. Share this video right now because we need 500 shares. We only have about around 300 shares and we've got 1,000 people watching us. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's do better. Anyway, while you're sharing, while you're liking the video, please do that, and then let's continue talking. So, Brother Oscar, now let's also talk about another person who was reportedly arrested. Let's talk about Mr. Sipande Mugala. And I'm sure about Chawama. I'm talking to you about Chawama. You know Mr. Sipande Mugala, very prominent businessman. And this man has got strong and heavy ties with a prominent politician from Chawama. Now, I know for a fact there's a handful of politicians who are very strong and prominent and well-known from Chawama. You do the math. So this man, Mr. Sipande Mugala, he was arrested by the ACC, and this man has, I'm a properties big man. I'm a shops big man. If you talk a big man, ish. Kula papa fi, kula pukunya fi omutwe. Kanshi people in Zambia, they are rich. People in Zambia, they've got money. But how did they get this money? So this is one of the reasons why I'm saying, when Mr. Pera Vanandi, they can bomba feel legitimately clean. You see, it doesn't really make any sense to make all this money, and then by the end of it all, you can't really account for it. So whatever business you're working on, continue building, my brother, continue building, my sister. Do it the legit way. Every little bit of money that you earn, be proud. So long it's so long do it the legit way. Take the high road and last. It doesn't really matter living the fast life and dying and just basically being relegated to being poor again. It doesn't really make any sense. Take that time, put in the work, do it legitimately. There's a lot of honor in starting a business from scratch and earning that money the legit way. You understand? So just do it. It takes a while. It takes a long time to build anything. It takes a while to build anything. But be proud of that hustle. Be proud when you fail, you pick yourself up, you do it over again until you get it. The absolute pleasure is in the hunt, not really the kill. And I'm sure a lot of rich people can testify with you. When they get to their position, to their destiny of being wealthy, they barely get a lot of satisfaction because the pleasure is in building, like back testing, knowing what works, what doesn't work. That's the pleasure. When you become ultra wealthy, you're barely going to be satisfied, and you're going to want to get the dopamine that you were getting from trying to build and just working on things, trying this, that until it succeeds. So be very proud of whatever you're doing, no matter how small it is. Be proud because you're doing it in the legitest way that you can. Be proud of starting something, struggling, and eventually making it work. Be proud of that, because a lot of people are usually taking the fast road. A lot of people think they are so smart than the rest of people that they can steal from everybody and think the rest people. They're not just hardworking, they're just lazy. But in the meanwhile, they're using backdoor manners. Oh man, so be proud of your honest, legit work. Nangusti Chef Tumbo is honest. I'm super proud of you. You know, work on businesses, do things the legit way, the right way, so that when the ACC comes, you can easily show them the book saying, look, I made so and so on the amount of money because I've got ABC, I've got money coming through from here, I've got this and that. You're able to pinpoint where your money is coming from because you built it from the ground up. You understand? So I'm a slay queen. I'm talking to you. You know, take your time, take your time, take your time, take your time, take your time. And moreover, when you're young, you're like around 18 to 26, right? You're this hot girl, you've got a banging body, and then once I've come over 40 number, to help. Life begins at 40. Now you can't really use your body. It's too late, and now you're back to square one. How are you going to maneuver? So there is honor in hard work and doing things from the get-go, being legit, being honest, helping other people. Do not steal from people. You understand? There's a lot of vulnerable people out there who would have benefited from this $4 million US. A lot of street kids who legit need help. We could have used this money to provide for, I don't know, equipment in the hospitals, medicine. There's a lot of people who are being given counterfeit drugs because some big wig out there was siphoning the money to a slay queen. You understand? So we have to be moral people. We have to be ethical. You know, as much as we want to make money, we have to remember that we have to think of others. It's not just about me. You know, think about others. Think about how your actions are going to affect the lives of other people. You know, let's do it the legit way. Come on. Anyway, Brother Oscar, what were we saying? Yeah, we were on Mr. Sipande Mugala. Can you expound on that?
You're on Mr. Sipande Mugala, and I wanted first of all to ask you, Mr. Muna, is this story under investigations? Is it under investigations?
I think he was arrested already, and he was released on bond. But anyway, let me just pull that up. Hold on, while you're talking, let me just look that up.
If it is in the course of law, I have to be a little bit delicate in commenting it, because I don't want to undergo into you know, when things are under investigations and court judgment. I don't enter.
So hold on. Let me show.
But just as you said, and I side with you, Mr. Mona, what you have talked to the young people, young men and women. Also, there are ladies. Also, to our ladies, I think it's better to work hard. You know, our friends from the PF, sometimes they issue statements which are very positive. Bowman Lusambo said, we need to change the mindset. I think this change of mindset is from aiming to become a slay queen and becoming a beautiful, hard-working lady. I think so. So the change of mindset, welcome. It's welcome, but in a legitimate work, hardworking. I think it's. I go back to what I said, that probably today we are not going to talk about. We are not going to talk about probably the danger also for this government. The danger insofar as dealing with investors and those involved in the mining sectors and the like. I don't want to touch that point, but just on this issue and compared with the investment in our resources and minerals, we need to change the mindset. We don't want to depend on what the people from outside are giving us. Just as our ladies and our young men, please do not depend on fast cash. Don't, be careful, brothers and sisters. Don't depend on fast cash. do the hard work, and let your work be scrutinized by the legitimate law enforcing orders and men and women in uniform. Let them come to your house and ask you, Mr. Oscar, what are you doing? Please, we saw that you have bought a bicycle. Yes, I bought a new bicycle. How did you come out to have the cash to buy a bicycle? And then I say, okay, I've had some payments for my salary for 5 months, and I have put aside some money and I bought a bicycle. Simple and straightforward. So my advice as well, Mr. Muna, probably on Mr. Sipande Mugala.
Yeah, but before you go into that, sir, can you just read this paragraph for me? Because I've got some questions, and maybe in Shumfava we read Sungu, but just read this paragraph, and then we'll talk about this paragraph, because this paragraph is coming through from the Daily Nation. This was published on December 15th. So because a lot of people can be saying, look, this kid is spiteful, etc. This is coming from the Daily Revelation, very reliable and credible source. So now read this. Can you just read this highlighted paragraph, please?
Mr. Muna, I'm on a phone. I'm using a phone. So
okay, cool. Okay, let me do it.
Help me. So, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you very much.
So, speaking with the Daily Revelation, Colonel or Colonel Panji commended the investigative wings on the many cases they are investigating, saying when he and the others were warning over the swelling levels of corruption in President Lungu's government, they were referred to as being stupid, that they did not steal enough during the time their father, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, was in office. Yeah, I remember this. I remember somebody from Kavushi saying, Mwaditumpa, you didn't steal. You should steal for the future. I'm sure the viewers remember that time. But anyway, he further mentioned...
I remember too, right? As well.
Yeah. Mentality and the Kabushi MP. No, Zambian people have got the wrong mentality. He's got a stealing mentality, allegedly, reportedly. Anyway, let me continue reading. He mentioned the several cases which were being investigated by the investigative wings, including investigations into Faith Musonda and the over 62 properties. Jesus.
Can you imagine?
62 properties, including 3 malls restricted by the ACC. 62 properties, including 3 malls. And seizure of a motor vehicle from Sipande Mugala. Now, Sipande Mugala, who is said to be connected to a very senior politically exposed person hailing from Chawama in the former PF administration. Now, this is going to bring us to our earlier conversation. Remember, I told you that, look, Snake Wing allegedly reported. Allegedly.
Be moderate.
Actually, the self-proclaimed queen of Snake Wings, the slayer of slayers. Yeah. So what if this person is holding the Pandora's box? You see, so remember what we talked about? We said, look, how come there's many other Snake Wings in Zambia who are not really being targeted? How come by ACC, by DEC, by FIC, by ZICTA, they are so on Faith's case? What if she's the key? What if she's the key to named people, prominent politicians hailing from Chawama? These people are coming from Chawama. This is coming from the Daily Nation. According to the information coming through from the ACC, Sipande Mugala, Faith Musonda, they've got connection. There's a connection. You know, there's a pattern. You understand?
There is a pattern. That's what I'm saying. Our lady Faith Musonda, she's just one of this puzzle. It's a puzzle to dismantle.
Yeah. But I think she's a key component of this particular puzzle. I think she's the centerpiece of this particular puzzle, because without her, you know, all these other puzzles wouldn't be complete. All these other pieces wouldn't make sense. I think she's either the main piece.
I doubt. I don't know whether she's at the center of the puzzle or she's one of the key angles to compose our puzzle. But I don't know. I remain with a doubt whether she's at the center. because
but isn't the connection very? Don't you think the connection?
She's a key. She's a key pony. She's a key pony, my dear, to help us dismantle and fill up us. I'm telling you, and that's why I insist from here, from Z Corner, Zambians, police, the Anti-Corruption Commission, please guard our sister Faith Musonda. I'm not hoping that she goes in danger, but her position puts the people behind her in a very, very awkward and dangerous situation and difficult.
All of bosses. Yeah. Bosses, I do not mean to be petty. I do not really mean to be kaludete. Kaludete wambira iyarubana iyai awe mkwai na karia iyo. But this character, Faith Musonda, what type of, do you know what the program she was presenting? She was a church presenter.
My dear. Mr. Moda, are you surprised? Are you surprised when myself, I've been saying all these the so-called papas, and you are a friend of one of the papas who is very famous.
Don't put me on. I'm not a friend. Me, I was just doing my marketing thing, you know, because by the way, let me also set the record straight for the viewers out there, because I know there's like over 800 people watching us. So basically what Brother Oscar is saying, because remember that time that I invited Sia1 to come through on the program, right? But I paid if I'm straight invite to Sia1, but Oscar, but him because saying no, we're not friends. I'm not friends with Sia1. I just invited him to the platform so that I can understand, because he's been instrumental in the fight, you know, that we have. It was just I was just inquisitive. That one, as I say, let me say this, Brother Oscar, because in gonna build up, gonna panga if shirikiti bakamba bakarandati ari poka do as I say. Do as I say, in a bakamba the bazaine, the baza bakamba. Now, so as we speak, I've got about 3 jobs, etc. I have no time to sleep, you know. So I'm gonna build about Zambians. Therefore, it's what you do as I say, could you see one? The only reason why I brought CR1 is because I wanted, to ask, a lot of questions, and I really thought it's a good marketing ploy for Z Corner, you know, because CR1 has never been on any other platforms to this level, you know. So I was like, look, Umukamba, he did what he did. Let's bring him over on Z Corner etc. We ask questions, we understand. And honestly, a lot of Zambians really learned a lot of things from that particular interview that I did with CR1. He really talked about things that he's never said anywhere, on any other platform. So sa do as I say, you never can ban the buzz and pondo parwan the etc. So ngana builder not scorandatari poka do as I say, just for the record.
Okay, I'm happy. I'm happy. Cool, Mr. Mona. I'm happy. I've talked about that, and I'm happy. I'm proud. Also, take it from me. I don't judge anyone, because what I've learned when I came to Europe, I've learned to learn from any individual, whether black, whether yellow, whether orange, whether purple. I learn. So also the guy that you're saying, I think he contributed something in the country, and I was just for the opinion to say, well, I would love.
I know. I get what you're saying. I know.
Yeah. So I think
Christians.
Christian program. Let me say this on the Christians, please. Now,
in broad daylight.
Zambians on Z Corner, please continue sharing. Now, here comes a very interesting comment.
Yes, before you give us that interesting comment, let's remind the people to share us.
Yes.
Good evening. How are you? I hope you are sharing. So, come on, viewers. We are far away from our target. We need at least 500 shares, and apparently we only have 361. We've got over 1,000 people watching us across various platforms, and we only have 361 shares. So let's bump it up. Let's take it over to 500 shares. So if you're just walking through and you're just joining us, kindly share this video on your Facebook and in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to, and also hit the like button, because we need to have at least 1,000 likes. So we only have 609 likes on our Facebook main page. Let's take it over to 1,000 likes. So everybody watching me, everybody listening to the sound of my voice, if you can see me seeing you, yeah, I'm looking at you like right there. Kindly hit the like button and share this video, please. It really helps. It helps us get motivated to really pop up here on a daily basis, because it's not easy doing this on a daily basis, for sure. It's not really easy putting yourself out there, and the things that we talk about. Because we talk about some serious stuff, a lot of people are not really happy with us, so the least that you can do is share with us, you understand, No, I'm being dramatic. All right, but anyway, continue, Brother Oscar.
Well, so I would say, I think on the question of also these jagabans and pastors and papas and the like, because probably they might be connected with this story of our gentleman. I think as Zambians, the youth, I trust in the youth. The youth now are discovering that under Mr. Muna, under the PF government, they tolerate very much these so-called papas here and there, and they were doing all those funny miracles. I am in Europe, I am in Italy, Mr. Muna. I'm in Italy, where we have 70% of the world.
Brother Oscar, on behalf of my viewers, Brother Oscar is always telling us his location. Brother Oscar, we know you're in Europe, we know you're in Italy.
What I'm saying is this. I'm connecting, because kuno Italy about the tomb of Peter, the tomb of Paul, St. Paul, the tomb of Peter. So Zambia is a Christian nation. But Zambia has no prophet tomb. In Zambia, we don't have a tomb of a prophet. This country where I am, there are thousands of tombs of prophets. So what I'm trying to say, viewers, is this. I think we need to also get matured. Let's analyze, and let's not receive or depend on the prophecies of the so-called papas and the like, please. And I will take the word from Boma Lusambo. Let's change our mindset. Please, let's go for hardworking. Like the young boy, Mr. Muna, is a hard worker. He does a multiple service in his life.
Bosses in the Bombay.
Yes, man. I know.
Fili hustles.
I know, man. I know, young man. You can see. Just for me, just look at your face. I can see that you are hardworking. So, I am focusing in this. I'm talking to the young people. Please, hard work is important. Let's not base on those prophecies. Today, Mr. Muna, there was a prophet of somebody saying, "Well, I don't see ID. I see our president." How kind of
bosses, that prophet, when I see him, it's on sight, slaps everywhere. And why do these people why do they mostly dwell on political stuff? They want to dupe the politicians, because I also remember, is it Mao Sampa? He was saying a lot of religious leaders wanted to extort him. A lot of them would be like, "Oh, look, somebody wants to have you killed. Here's something. Put something somewhere." A lot of these papas really want to extort politicians, etc. That's why we don't come about the year in Genesis. Let me put this on record. It's on site. Now I'm playing. I'm doing too much. But the thing is, more of the story, ladies and gentlemen, is these papas, they love manipulating and extorting politicians because they are ambitious hustlers. They are just basically hustlers using the word to get their way. But anyway, I digress. Brother Oscar, continue. Brother Oscar, are you there? You're freezing.
Thank you so much. So all I'm doing is just I'm freezing. Am I freezing?
Yeah. Internet's quit. You go. Airtel.
I know. Maybe Oh my goodness. Oh, it's my battery, man. Mr. Muna, my battery is going down.
Your battery is going down? All right. Do you have your charger? All right. Okay. I mean, like you can do a thing. Then I'll open up.
I have a charger.
I will open up lines for the people to join.
To move. That's why I was.
Yeah, I mean, you can do your thing, sort your battery issue, then we'll invite you back.
Open the line so I can do some charging a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, viewers. Thank you for the occasion, and thank you to the viewers. Really, you have been very precious. So please come on, share the program, and continue listening to our program. I'm coming back. Thank you.
Yeah, he'll be back. So in the meantime, oh, you know that song, Yak South Africa, Sister Bettina. In the meantime, I'm opening up the lines to have people come through. And if you want to join us, please use the pinned comment. So yeah, I just posted the link in the comments. So if you want to join us, if you want to join me right now, join us via the link which has been posted in the comments. So if you go to our comments, there is a link. Click on it and then be part of Z Corner, and we are going to be able to have this conversation. We are talking about Faith Musonda. Now, I know for a fact Faith Musonda is potentially watching us. You know, Faith Musonda is potentially watching us because we reach a lot of people. A lot of prominent people watch our platform. They are here and they usually stay abreast with what is happening because we represent the youths. We represent a certain demographic in Zambia. And I really believe we are the leading voice for the Zambian youths. And mostly, you know, I was like doing the analytics on our page. Our demographics vary from, we are usually from 18 years all the way up to 65. This is our heavy demographic in general. But our largest base is between 25 till 45, 25 to 45. So we are having a very sweet demographic, you know, like these are the most productive citizens from 25 to about 45 years. So, you know, it's a very overwhelming statistic to look at. And we are definitely a force to reckon with in Bowman Lusambo's voice. So whatever we talk about, best believe a lot of big people do get wind, and they are obviously in the know. So it's very important for us to obviously keep it jovial. As much as we entertain and you know, we talk about educative things, we have to understand that we are running a platform, because by the end of it all, serious, you know, serious na intellectual idea, and it's not going to be interesting, but sometimes you just have to, you know, make it interesting and enjoyable, if you know what I'm talking about. So in person, like when you see me in person, I'm probably like having a different demeanor, you understand? So when you see me out there in the streets, I'm on another time, and don't expect me to be as jovial as I am, because, you know, we're just trying to keep the show going. So I can see some people rolling through. DJ Sachi ZM. Now, bosses, is there a way to light yourself up? Because you are in the dark and we can't see you, and it's not really that pleasing to look at. So, up the light. Yeah, that's much better. So do that. While you're fixing that, then you'll be back. In the meantime, let me bring Joseph Kasongola. Joseph Kasongola, turn on your video. Without video, we won't allow. We're only allowing people who are going to be accountable for what they're going to say. So this is the deal. If you do not have your video on, it's hard for us to trace you in case you do some weird stuff. ETC, we can say, this is the culprit. You know, so if you want to have high chances of being accepted on this particular platform, come correct. Be in a properly lit area, you know, be ready to go, because by the end of it all, you are messing up the show. You know, like when I invite you and then you come here, you're unprepared, you're really messing up the show, you know? So John Musonda, turn on your video. You'll be able to turn on your video, John Musonda. You see, this is what I'm talking about. So basically, this is a bad idea. Like inviting people to come and join is always a bad idea because the flow is affected, and guys, you're watching us build something from the ground up. Remember what we talked about, building something from the ground up, right? These are the things that you figure out while you're doing something. It's the same with business. When you're doing any business, you're going to be figuring out what works, what doesn't work, what is, instrumental to your growth, etc. So these are the things that you're supposed to be doing when running any business. So anyway, while I'm waiting for the usual suspects, let's continue talking about money laundering tactics and the church. Now, this is a very important point that I wanted to make before I even forget about it. The Ministry of Religious Affairs, the church. Remember what we talked about with regards to money laundering and how money laundering people use NGOs, cash-heavy businesses such as restaurants, casinos, shopping malls, etc., because they're cash-heavy type of businesses, where transactions are mostly made using cash, right? Now, let me also tell you about church and how churches can be used to launder money. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is profound information. In case you didn't really know, I'm here to break it down. I'm a churches. Money laundering. Do you know why? Because it's very easy to manipulate the books. In a church, it's very easy to say, we got them offering, we got them a tithe, etc. So it's easy. So if you look at what was happening in the previous regimes, Ministry of Religious Affairs, I'm a church meeting this, church that, association of what? Church of Lungu, church of Nanyuko. You understand? It's easy to launder money using churches. So, I'm a Christians. Yeah, I've got nothing against Christians. I'm a Christian, as you can see. But I know how slimy, Christians can get. I really understand how manipulative they are. And this is one of the reasons why, if you go to a church, right, they easily assess you. It's all about psychology. They assess you. They know who they can easily manipulate because a lot of people have got like some tendencies of being gullible. There are levels to gullibility. You see, if you want to do now, you see, my background and my way of life allows me to, interact with a lot of clients, and I need to sell products. I sell services, etc. So I'm a very good salesperson, and I know how to read people, and I can easily recognize a con. You understand? So what usually happens in churches is when you go there, right? They usually say, "Ava new nani? How many new members are here?" You raise up your hand. The next thing that you see, everybody's clapping for you. They give you like a booklet, fill in your details, and then they'll be probing you. They'll be asking you, where do you work? What do you do for a business? How much are you making? They are able to read your emotional compass, if I can put it that way. They are able to know whether they can manipulate you or not. So once they recognize which people can be easily manipulated, boom. That's why if you look at most marriages have been broken because of ama papas. Papas are manipulating creatures, if I can put it that way, because these people are hustlers. Let me give you a practical example. I don't really care. This brother, Ian Genesis, very manipulative creature. Very manipulative. Umuntu kutaka kulengisha washisha kidney. Wangawashisha kidney yove adia nempia sho. Because he's a hustler, he's a manipulative person. He understands how to do things, And this is one of the reasons why you saw him trying to get close to the police IG, etc. Because they are manipulators, and they're hustlers. They know how to use words to, make people feel a certain way. So be careful. Don't get manipulated. So when these people probe you, they're able to decipher. They know who they can get things from Shan Yuko. And the other thing that I need to talk about is especially to the people in the diaspora, because when Zambians go out of Zambia, right, especially I'm students, they now start joining, this church, the church belonging to this Nigerian or Ghanaian or whatever, West Africans, etc. And this is the fact that we are a nationality of very conservative people, right? A lot of people really get manipulated. A lot of Zambians in the diaspora, students that are being harassed. A lot of them are being sexually abused by the manipulative tendencies of these manipulative people. So be very careful, Anyway, getting back to our conversation, Faith Musonda, I'm sure she was presenting some church programs and etc. She was just a very well-respected human being, very well-respected, genius, as in decent. I meant to say decent girl. If you look at her, always dressed. If you look at Faith Musonda and Mutale Mwanza, very different people. Cool. You would think Mutale Mwanza is like a slimy person, but Mutale Mwanza does work hard. We don't want to tell her, but anyway, I'm not talking about Mutale Mwanza here. I'm just comparing. If you look at the dressing of Faith Musonda and Mutale Mwanza, you would think Mutale Mwanza, the hookup. But kusapa pat Faith Musonda, ekapondo akarina amassed Nama Clique of Thieves. It's very polarizing. So that's why I'm saying, look, don't judge a book by its cover. Who would have thought that Faith Musonda, good old Faith Musonda, would, be entangled in such amounts of atrocities? Look at the amount of properties, 62 flipping properties, 3 malls. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Who would have imagined? And she's always living a low key life. That's why I'm saying, quiet people, poo. You understand? Look out for the quiet ones, because the quiet ones, slimy people. Anyway, I'm not really saying she's slimy. I'm just saying, based on the evidence that we have been presented with, it's unbelievable to fathom how she just got into this particular scandal. So, Brother Joseph, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Good evening.
It's good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah, so what is your contribution to the Faith Musonda and the Clique of Thieves debacle? All right, so Brother Joseph is having issues with the internet. Yes. Anyway, Brother Oscar is back. Welcome to the show, sir. Welcome back. You did your thing. Unmute yourself.
I'm now in a position where I've put my phone on charge, Mr. Muna.
Lovely. So now we can continue, right? Because,
Yes.
Now, boss, the most important thing that I want to talk about is the connection. And do you think this is going to affect somebody's immunity? I'm not really talking about a specific person, but I'm just saying, is somebody's immunity going to be affected?
Mr. Moon, I think because I have learned in my life, I've learned to be realistic in life. When I was very young, when I was a boy, when I was at Chawama secondary school, in a boarding school, I used to be clever. I used my cleverness as a young boy. Now, over 30 years, Mr. Moon, I'm becoming a bit wise. So from that point of view, I would say that Zambia deserves that. Zambia heavily deserves that the immunity of the former president be lifted. Why do I say this? If you ask me a question, why? I don't hate President Lungu, but what the people are discovering, what we are discovering of what has happened in the previous government, it is really putting a lot of shame on the patriotic front. Now, if the vice president of the patriotic front is scared and is saying, no, HH probably wants to have now a one-party system in Zambia, of course, I would answer to the president of the Patriotic Front to say, well, I think it's wrong, because in Zambia we have more than 18 political parties. Those who really did present their names for elections on 12th of August 2021, there were about 16 presidents. So if the PF is no longer there, there will be, I think, about 11 political parties. So I think it's not true that President Hakainde Hichilema wants a one-party system. Second, I think, Mr. Muna, there is only one thing I can advise to the people who led us for the past 7 years. If you are guilty, and you know that probably, I underline, probably, what has happened to our sister Faith Musonda can lead to something close to your business style or your lifestyle, I think there's still possibility, Mr. Mon. We have still some possibility that they can reconcile with the government, with the ruling government, to say, well, you guys, I think I made a mistake, and well, okay, I bring back 2 billion kwacha. Okay, I'll bring back 2 billion. Yeah, let them do that. There's still time. Until it's gonna be late. If it's going to be too late, I think Brother it will be bad, very bad.
I want you and the viewers to help me understand this statement, because Pro Mulenga Chomba says, what, Mona, did I hear you right? Faith has 62 properties and the 3 malls. Look, ladies and gentlemen, viewers out there, let's read this paragraph together. What does this mean? He mentioned, meaning is it Colonel or Colonel Panji Kaunda? He mentioned the several cases which were being investigated by the investigative wings, including investigations into Faith Musonda and the over 62 properties. So these 62 properties, who do they belong to? Is it Faith Musonda or some other people? So please,
we don't know. We don't know.
Faith Musonda and the over 62 other properties, including 3 malls. What does this mean? Are these malls belonging to Faith Musonda and these 62 properties, or is just some other stuff?
Some other stuff. Some other people hold these properties still. Some other people, they are still trying to find out who are the owners of some other properties under investigations.
All right. Okay. So just to get the clarification out there, yeah, this is the statement. So please decipher it. So probably these 62 properties and the three malls, perhaps they are not related to Faith Musonda. Okay. But the way they wrote this story, it's just hard to sort of decipher. Mr. Aluwuza, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you doing?
You can't worry about that. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, viewers. Happy to be here again. Samuna, how are you?
I'm very good. You've got some noise in the background. Can you just turn that off?
Okay.
Yeah, just turn, keep it down. So how do you understand this statement? Right over here, Faith Musonda and the over 62 properties, including 3 malls restricted by the ACC and the seizure of a motor vehicle from Sipande. Do you think these properties and the other 3 malls are, sort of connected to Faith Musonda, or maybe they meant the Faith Musonda's case and 62 properties and 3 malls are a separate case? How do you understand this statement, or rather this paragraph right over here?
Faith Musonda is a scapegoat for someone. There's someone behind.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at this lady, a young lady cannot have such a huge amount of money being kept in her house, building a lot of this infrastructure.
Yes. Now, brother Luwezu, it's I'm very careful with the word cannot. She can, but whether legit or not, that's the question. Because I believe in hard work. I have no restrictions, and I do not really despise wealthy people. I'm actually inspired by wealthy people and rich people. But the biggest difference is I highly regard people who legitimately earn money, and I put them on a high pedestal. You see, I do not have bucket in the crab in the bucket mentality. If somebody legitimately earns money, I'll be the first one to give round of applause and just appreciate that person if they do it legally and ethically. You understand? So a Zambian can earn more than 50 million US dollars and be able to afford all these things. But it's supposed to be legal. It's supposed to be provable. If you're running a $50 million business, show your books, show your papers. Everybody is going to applaud. You see, the people of Zambia just do not want to be taken for granted and taken as fools. That's the biggest difference. We're not here to bring down Faith Musonda.
That is where I was coming. That was where I was coming to say, for me to say she cannot have such. You look at the background of the person. Where is she working from? For me, the background, it shows me that she was just a journalist. And being a journalist, how much do they get paid? For you to think that
on average, let's just say an average journalist, if they are just mainly working for a broadcasting corporation, let me be very nice. I think it's 15,000 kwacha and below, and that's being very generous. 15,000 kwacha and below, and I'm being very, very generous with that. Yeah, continue.
This is what my brother, Mr. Oscar Mpombo, was even trying to put up. It's like Zambia has been hijacked. Somebody, it's like they are taking for granted. They are using some people to take things from the Zambian, the poor Zambians. Okay? For me, I'm still insisting that she cannot have this because of the background that she has. And if she was working somewhere where she could even have a lot of money like this, then we appreciate, because we have some serious workers in Zambia who can even removing this poverty that we are seeing among of the youth. So
yes, brother, what's that in the background? We can hear some noise. What's going on in the background? You can hear that, brother Oscar, too, right? Is
my
that
background?
an ambulance? Okay.
Oh,
never mind. It's just some car in the background.
Yes, I can hear it. I thought our brother is near a mining area.
Just near the mine.
Near a mining area.
Okay.
Area.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Anyway, continue.
Yes. No. Sorry for that. Otherwise, what I'm trying to put up is, this person cannot have such amount of money. I'm still insisting she cannot have such amount of money, including these buildings, these houses. It's too much, you guys, too much. There is someone who is even using this girl to be, it's just a scapegoat.
Mm-hmm. So, brother, how do we get to that particular? So how do we get to that person who's behind Faith Musonda? How do we get to that person?
No, we'll find him soon, very soon.
You think our ACC and the DC have got the courage to go for the big guy? Because the other thing that we have in Zambia is morality in our investigative wings.
At the moment, Mr. Mona, they have the power. because for me, I can see that there's some power. They want to get something. In the previous regime, I don't know. They could even, I think this time around, all their necks could even out.
You think?
Mr. Shadwick, sir, I think the ACC, the Anti-Corruption Commission, they don't have power to get to the big fish, not to the big fish, but to the head of the rotten fish. The police has no power. The only people who have power to get to the head of the rotten fish is the parliament.
How do you mean, Brother Oscar? What do you mean by that? Break it down for the people. Break it down for the people.
Because it's a parliament, because in case of probably removing the immunity to a president, you need a parliament. You don't need the people's opinion, or we don't need some accusations. We have a lot of multiple accusations from the ordinary Zambian people, but to remove a presidential immunity, unfortunately, in the constitution of our Zambian constitution, you need a parliament and you need a 3/3 majority. And probably this can only be obtained by one. There are two possibilities. One, taking advantage of this time that the 9 members of parliament have been fished out from the parliament and they are not there. So the ruling government has more than 51% of majority. Second, coming out with a lot of evidence, and especially if at all something can be taken from our sister Faith Musonda, something that would lead to the big fish, then that is it. The deal is done, Mr. Mona. Otherwise, it's very difficult.
Right. Now, brothers, Mary Kingdom Changer, one of our OGs here on Z Corner, her and Carol always, make my days when they're like having their banter in the comment section. Now, check this out. Mary says, I think Margaret Chisela, aka Faith Musonda, is not smart. If I were her, I would rather have my freedom than the bag. So basically, how do these big wigs select their, the people that they can use? What are the qualifications in case there is a mini slay queen out there who wants to be like, I just feel like I can do what Faith Musonda did, but in a smarter way. Of course, we're not encouraging such behavior, but I'm just trying to get into the psyche of a big wig. Why select Faith Musonda? Why her? Mr. Aluwuze, tell me, why would you, if you had millions and millions of dollars, why would you pick Faith Musonda? Why?
I think the person who uses this girl has seen how weak she is, and that I think I'm so much disturbed over this issue because the Zambian people has been hijacked. I think so. There is something big. I think this.
Okay, but let's get into the mind of a slay queen. Let's get into the mind of a slay queen. Quite all right. I mean, for the past, I'm sure she's been doing this for like the past, I don't know, maybe however long. It's been some decent amount of time. So her lifestyle was lit.
Yes. Dealing this business, they have started the wrong time. It's not just now.
So do you think it's worth it? My question is it worth it? The lifestyle that she was, because she was living like a queen, like a legit queen, mogul, business mogul, tycoon.
Yeah.
But was it worth it? If you look at the pros and the cons, because if the ACC and the DEC, money laundering, tax evasion, boom, 5-10 years. then is it worth it? Is it worth it? And do you ever see Faith Musonda coming out of this particular conundrum? Is she ever going to get out? Do you see her doing a little bit of time,
Mr. Mona,
forfeiting all her profits, all her property? Do you ever see her? How is she going to get out? Because Makebi Zulu mupondo, so they say. Makebi Zulu tafidwa, so they say. Will she get out? Do you think she's got a way of sneaking out? Because the forfeiting didn't work. She forfeited. Boom.
During the parliament.
Say what?
Is Makeb Bizuru in the parliament?
No, he's a lawyer, but he's.
No,
he's
my question is.
No, he's not. He's not. Mr. Alu, where's you're disappearing? So anyway, Brother Oscar, do you think she's ever going to get out of this? To the viewers out there, viewers, I'm talking to you. Yes, you. Do you think Faith Musonda has got the ability to sneak her ways out of this situation? If so, what tactics is she going to use? Because number one, she forfeited the property. Yes, I can. And she also forfeited the money as well. She literally let all that go. But again, the ACC, they are back on her behind. Do you think she's ever going to loosely get out of the ACC grip? If so, what is it going to take in order for her to regain her name? And by the way, Faith Musonda, if you're watching us, please come to their corner and vindicate yourself. We want to get your authentic story. You see, we don't really have any malice. The fact that we are talking about you is just because your story is in public domain, and we are mandated to talk about this because it's in public domain. If you didn't get out of, if this story wasn't in the public, we wouldn't have been in your business, but we're only discussing what we have been given. So do not take it personal. Do not think we've got malice against you. No, we're just, talking about what's already in public domain. And you are a journalist. I believe you understand and you sympathize with us. So please come through their corner. We've got a large audience. Our demographic is savvy as hell. And one of the ways that you can use to clean your name and vindicate yourself is using such particular platforms. You're welcome. So viewers out there, how is Faith Musonda going to be able to get out of this particular situation? And what is it going to take? Is it going to take her going back to zero? Because imagine this person has been living a lavish, stupid, lavish life. So in order for her to regain her freedom, is she going to be able to relinquish every bit of money, every bit of property? And perhaps she's going to go scot-free. What is she going to do? And is she going to be able to give up the names of the people she was working with? If she snitches and perhaps the ACC are pointed and directed towards a bigger, much more corrupt individual, maybe perhaps they might let go of Faith. But what will that mean for Faith, and how much is it going to cost her? So please let me know. So Shivula Malapa says she only has to surrender all the properties for her freedom, for there is a clause that can protect her. Okay. Leonard says she should just give out. Okay. David says let her flee the country like the other girl who got the money from the bank. That is the only way. Now, let's talk about Pamela Gondwe, because Pamela Gondwe is... What do you think about Pamela Gondwe? That's a nice point, by the way. I mean, David Duke. Pamela Gondwe, Brother Oscar. About Brother Oscar. So Prue Mulenga says, if I was Faith, I would sing like a bird. no honor among thieves.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, but your network is tripping. Your network is
Can you hear me?
Barely.
But now, just
now it's better. I think you've switched to a better Wi-Fi, right?
All right, it's just an angle. It's just an angle. Okay, on that lady was sneaked out. Well, they can now countries has different method, Mr. Muna, to track out all these criminals. They can just make a contract with a country where they suspect she's hiding, and they can catch her out. So The same thing too with the suspected criminals. I think it's not conducive and it's not advisable to just run away. It's advisable to face the courts of law and solve your personal problem. So
Yeah. By
I
the
don't
way, is
think
she a flight risk? You know, is she a flight risk right now? I mean, Faith Musonda can obviously call up a big man, arrange a private jet, a PJ, fly out of Zambia, wooz out of
can,
Zambia
but
easily.
she can, but I don't think Faith Musonda in her family she's alone. She might have relatives, brothers, sisters. I don't know whether she has a child, and all
She
those
does. She
people,
does.
all those people are implicated, Mr. Mona. So she cannot just say, well, let me just flee for my freedom. And she leaves all the relatives and friends in hot soup. So it's not a good idea, but it can be taken. Some people have taken that idea. It's an evil idea to run away. You just run away and you leave your relatives in hot soup. It's a bad idea.
Yeah, it's a terrible idea. Faith Musonda, if you're listening to us, please do not do that. Just comply and work with the law enforcers. Anyway, brother Leonard Chiwala, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Like a big man. So, what's your opinion, big man? What's going on, and what's the role of Faith Musonda? Is Faith Musonda the biggest missing link to taking somebody down? What do you think about Faith Musonda?
I think on Faith Musonda, this issue is very complicated. Do you remember this case of Simon Moalen and Tasila Lungu?
Ooh, you coming with a hit. Yes, and Simon, by the way, Mr. Chitambala Mwewa. I'm a big fan of his. Big shout out to Mr. Chitambala Mwewa. He said if he is pushed and he's not going to be intimidated, he said he is going to spill it. And we know Mr. Chitambala can do it. Mr. Chitambala Mwewa can do it easily. You just need to poke him one time and he'll do it. But anyway, go on.
So Mr. Chitambala said something to do with I'm trying to recall the words that you said, trying to say more like Faith. She's one way being used, or she was used, or she's amongst the people that were in that circle. You get that? She wanted to say more like she's a bypass road or something like that. So there are ways it's either.
Always use those words. But anyway, I'll try to look that up. Anyway, in the meantime, continue. I'll try to find what Mr. Chitambala said with regards to Faith.
Yeah, so with the case to Faith, it's either she was dining with the big fishes. That's according to my insinuation. If not dining with the big fishes, she might have a good connection or this shared business that they used to give out to each other, either ways. Or perhaps, as other people started speculating to say, no, maybe she was seeing one of the ministers, some were even saying the former father of our nation. So we don't know the truth right now, but the whole point is, if she's only, or not only, but already the evidence are pointing out to say she was with those guys in the time they were dining. So the best thing she can just do for her immunity and safety, she should just give out the necessary information for her to be saved and live a free life. Because I'm sure there's a clause that will equally defend. She's going to release the names of the people that are supposed to be brought to book and at least give back what they stole to the nation. So to my own opinion, Faith, wherever you're watching, because I know it's either she's watching or she will have people who will tell her. It's not like we're trying to cause malice or anything like that. But the whole new thing that we want is that if you can come out in public or not in public, find means on how you can help the state recover what was stolen. Because equally, this is not only affecting us and the poor, it would definitely affect the future generation of your kids if you have or other relatives that you may not have direct link with. So the best thing you can do, you can give it, you can give them names, whatever they want, because what it is right now, I can assure you, Mona, if Faith will be defending herself, giving out whatever the state decides to get from her, they won't let go of her. They can only let go of her if she gives them the big fish that they want. It's as simple as that. Once a fisherman goes for fish, if they catch it with small fish, they don't feel that thing. But once they just get that big fish, namwe kata kapenda, naesa kumanya shaki kulya. Imofe na baby shark namwe kata katipa. Na alafu mama na mumenshi mula useless. I've gotten the big thing that I want. You get?
Nana kunganda.
No kokolapo. So for now, the SEC at the deck and these other guys who are in the investigative wings, they'll be on her, because what they're doing right now, they're just waiting. The moment she declares this bar poker, balaro coffee in 1 month, I karakwisa. Oh, kulia. To checking our mama papers there. Oh, what is she involved in? Because Mona, let's be honest here. If you go back to Faith's career, she is a journalist, and then journalists, you can say that those people are paid more than 25,000 plus, or she has been doing business since when. And then if you check out her work, right, she's worked this side, she stopped, she's joined this guy, she stopped, and then if you see most of the pictures that you'd find out, she was close to interviewing the president. So many pictures are showing her close to the big fishes that are needed at this point in time. I'll close from here for now.
All right, cool. So anyway, let me just pull up what Mr. Chitambalamwewa said with regards to the earlier points that Leonard gave us, because everything is interconnected here. Everything is interlinked. Now let's listen to Mr. Mwewa, because there is a trail and there is a pattern and there is something that could help us fix a lot of things and solve one of the biggest puzzles Zambia has ever seen. So anyway, let's listen to this and we'll talk on the other side. So let's listen to this.
For taking the time out of your very busy schedule, a few moments with me here on SML TV. Now, I do realize that President Hichilema is on CNN. I think he's on CNN. And I also understand that many of you want to watch the news. So I will not keep you long. There's just something I need to share with you that I think is important. And I think that it would be irresponsible of me not to deal with this and to address it, and also, in a sense, to share it with you. As many of you know, yesterday I released a statement. When I say released a statement, I posted something about the president's daughter, President Lungu's daughter, who is Tassila Lungu. And before I say what I need to say here, I think it's important for you to have context. Me, like many other Zambians, has met Tassila Lungu. I've had 3 interactions with her. And I must confess to you that each and every one of those interactions were very pleasant, very cordial. I found her to be just a very warm person, someone that is very approachable. And I know that sounds cliche to many of you or to some of you, but I'm just telling you, I'm sharing with you my experience. Okay, so please don't knock that. But that was I walked away each time feeling like I had met a wonderful person, and she was, and politics being what it is, sometimes I think as vloggers, and when this happened, I was thinking to myself, we have to consistently learn this lesson. Sometimes as vloggers, we get excited, we get caught up in the moment, we say things that, in a sense, after you say them, you sort of give yourself a moment of pause and ask yourself, wait a minute, was that worth it? were you riding on the back of something? And so this, just to give you a brief background, to give you the backstory, I posted something yesterday titled "The President's Daughter," and of course I was quoting Crown TV, and then I gave my own opinion. I sort of gave my own twist to the story. The story was allegedly that Tassila Lungu had bought and purchased some bank. Some people say it's Access, some people say it's Cavmont Bank, whichever bank it was. But I put in my 2 cents worth in there, and in the process, I did say some pretty heated things. And so this evening, I received a letter of demand from her lawyers. And in no uncertain terms, they made it very clear to me that, Mr. Mwewa, you posted something that has hurt our client, and we're asking you, we are asking you to not only apologize for that defamatory statement, but we're asking you to retract it. Now, when things like this happen, sometimes you sort of think to yourself, wait a minute, what's the greater good? But let me be honest with you, and I hope you don't misunderstand me, and I know many of you will misunderstand me, but this is my experience. All I'm doing is I'm sharing it with you, and it's this. Oftentimes, when you get letters of demand from lawyers, the natural instinct is to push back. The natural instinct is to say, no, I'm not going to do that, But I'll be honest with you, the reason I have decided to do this is I sat in my office when I received the letter. In fact, here it is here. Where is it? Here. Here's the demand letter from a law firm called Makebi Zulu Advocates. I sat in my office, and as I was reading it, the only thing that kept on coming back to my mind was I started thinking about the first time I met Tassila. The first time I met Tassila Lungu was at the mayor's house. And she could not have been any nicer. Honestly, she was. She was very, very pleasant to speak to, very approachable. And, I stood there and I spoke to her for a few minutes, and, she had this really bright smile. And I liked her. I did. I thought she was a very nice person. And then I met her again 2 other times. And each one of those times, she was the same way. Very warm. I think I met her once at the, we were covering, as SML TV, we were covering one of the virtual rallies. I think it was one of the virtual rallies that we had been hired to cover. And she was there. And naturally, I walked up to her and I approached her. And I remember saying, it was one of those deals where, people were singing, that the speeches were done and the choir were singing and people were dancing, and she was in the crowd and she had a face mask on, but because I recognized her when she first walked in, I knew who she was. And so I in the midst of the dancing and the singing, I walked up to her, I approached her, and because it was so loud, I had to sort of, scream in her ear. I said to her, I said, Tassila, when do I get to interview you? And she, looked at me and she sort of nodded, like as if to say, with her eyes, as if to say, well, we can do that. We need to work on that. Let's do that. She didn't verbally say it, but she said it with her eyes because of the music. She said, she sort of motioned to me and said, yeah, let's do that. And the last time I met her, I forget where it was, but again, it was the same thing. She was very pleasant, very cordial. And as I was reading this demand letter, that is what was going through my mind, was that my experience with Tassila Lungu was a pleasant experience. yes, we're all upset about certain things that were happening in the PF, and I have made it very clear about those things, and I think many Zambians have made it clear about those things as well. And I would imagine it's not easy being the president's daughter. I would imagine that. And I don't mean to sound coy when I say that. And so I purely based on my 3 experiences with Tassila, I have decided.
Yeah, so basically that was the first apology, and then something else happened, and then he had this to say. So something happened in the background, then he came up with another.
Dressed in UPND regalia. Now, whether or not they were UPND, that's a different topic altogether. That's an entirely different matter. What we're talking about is that there was a guy that was clearly wearing, very difficult to do on Facebook because, Peter, you can catch it on the replay. I'm not rushing for you. Okay. What they, in a sense, did was it was like taking a piece of meat and throwing it into a den of lions. Samuel, we are aware that you have posted.
I think from here.
Zulu. This letter was a demand letter, and it came to me, and it said in here, no uncertain terms, it said, Mr. Mwewa, we are aware that you have posted information that has placed our client in bad light, and we feel that your comments on your Facebook page were retrogressive, and our client demands that you apologize and retract. I had a meeting with all of my colleagues on Facebook, Crown TV, Southern Media, the rest of them, because we've all been sued jointly. All of us have been sued. So we began to talk, and we began to sort of, discuss what is the way forward, no pun intended. And in the midst of those discussions, we came to a conclusion. And I won't really share that part because I don't have permission to share that part of my conversation with my colleagues. That's up to them. But let me just say that after this meeting that I had with my Facebook colleagues, a day after this, I decided then to apologize in my personal capacity. I apologized for having hurt her because the truth is, at that time, we were simply going on the strength of what the ACC had said. We deduced, we concluded that when the ACC says a known Lusaka counselor, well, there's only one name that really pops into your head. And we quoted Crown TV. Now, after I made that apology, I was settled because, as I said in the apology, I had met Edgar Lungu 3 times. And upon the allegations, I mean, I looked at the letter and I said to myself, a writ of summons. You lawyers, correct me if I'm wrong, that shook me to the core.
Yeah, it's
writ
right here.
of summons. A document saying, Mr. Moore, we're taking you to court. Now, this was after I'd apologized. And when I went through the summons, some information has come to me.
Now, this is a part which is very interesting. So listen carefully.
Authentic information.
Authentic information. Interesting.
That shook me to the core. And I'm going to take a moment here and I'm going to pause. Because what I'm about to tell you is stuff that you hear about in the movies. I mean, literally. This is stuff you hear about in gangster movies. This is Godfather stuff. You know the movie The Godfather? That's what this is. This is the American gangster stuff. Remember the American gangster, Denzel Washington and what's the other guy's name? The guy that did Gladiator. What was his name? Tell me in the comments. Russell Crowe. There you go. Russell Crowe. This is the information I'm about to share with you it's gangster stuff. When this information, I came to the knowledge of this information, I realized the PF administration was a gangster organization. Are you hearing that? Are you getting that? I want that to sink in for a moment. When I received the information and the data and the evidence that I have right now, this moment.
It seems Mr. Stambaramwe has got a lot of info. Mr. Mwewa, spill the beans. Anyway, we're joking. We're joking.
I realize and understand that the Patriotic Front was a gangster, criminal organization.
The suspense is killing me.
And it was from there that I decided to retract my apology. Let me tell you.
Correct.
You guys have been talking about Faith Musonda. Faith Musonda.
Preach.
You're talking about 65 million kwacha, which is about $4 million. The information I have now here, and this is a fact, and I'm willing to present this in court.
Do it.
It will make Faith Musonda look like Little Red Riding Hood on a summer's day picking daisies.
So bosses now for Faith Musonda. Mwana mu no. Mwana mu no Faith Musonda. I'm a big wig. But anyway, let's let Mr. Moyo continue.
At time we say akantondi. Kantondi
Faith Musonda. Mune tina Faith Musonda. Kuri aba rumendoku. All right, okay, let's listen.
I'm going to say that again. The information that I have now, the information that has compelled me to withdraw my apology, and I am willing to face Edgar Lungu in court, the information is so damaging, it will make Faith Musonda look like Little Red Riding Hood on a summer's day picking daisies on the side of the road. Listen to me, Zambia.
Yeah.
They were gangsters. They were gangsters.
How can we sponsor this thing to happen? I think the Zambian people want to see the information that Mr. Mwewa has. Is there a way, viewers, that we can sponsor this thing to happen? We need to see it. We need to get this information. I'm joking.
And everything they did for themselves. They did for self-profit. They did for self-aggrandizement. And they did it at the expense of this nation. Mark my words. They are in for a bumpy ride. And here's the thing. President Lungu is not there to protect them. I want you to stick that in your pipe, and I want you to smoke it. Let me go further and say, this information is so damaging that if we were in Italy,
But Oscar, you're in Italy.
Va mafia.
I'd have been dead by now.
Va mafia.
If we were in 1935 America, New York City, I'd have been whacked by now. Are you getting what I'm saying? This is the type of information people get killed for.
So, to all the viewers out there, now we also need to protect Mr. Mwewa Chitambala as well. So, in the meantime, we've got two people that we're protecting. We're protecting Faith Musonda because she's got a lot of information, and we should also protect Mr. Chitambala Mwewa. If anything happens to this man, you, the viewers, you already know where to look. We already know what to do. So, Mr. Chitambala Mwewa, we've got your eyes on you. Do not worry. We've got your back. Anyway, let's continue listening.
And just so you know, if anything happens to me, you know where to look. And I'm not joking when I say that. I'm very serious when I say that. Look into my eyes. If anything happens to me, you know where to look. Did you catch that? Did you hear that? That comes from a very serious place. You're not in Kansas anymore. This is serious.
Serious information coming through. So, viewers, we've got a lot of things to do as vigilant Zambians. And our movement is all about accountability and looking out for everybody who means well for the nation. Now, with everything that has been said by Mr. Mwewa, now let's look at this particular part of this story. Who is said to be connected to a very senior politically exposed person hailing from Chawama in the former PF administration. So there's obviously a pattern here, and we're only speculating, by the way. Don't really take this as the gospel truth. We are merely speculating. Faith Musonda and Mr. Sipande Mugala and a prominent politically exposed person coming from Chawama, there's obviously a connection. So, anyway, let me open up the floor. Mr. Joseph, how are you doing? Mr. Kasongola, Brother Joseph.
Thanks.
What is your contribution?
Fine, thanks. How are you? Sorry, we have a network problem.
No, it's okay. What's your contribution?
About Faith Musonda's issue, I think there's much more that we were yet to know about Faith Musonda and the connections, because what has been reviewed so far is not satisfying, because it might lead to something that we might not know as at now. So we are watching closely and waiting to see where this case will lead us. And all hopes put together, we hope that every coin that was channeled out of our coffers as Zambia is brought back to its purposeful use. And so we'll be watching closely and then hoping that everything will go well and the money will be brought back. I think this issue of Faith Musonda is just the start of the whole scenario, the whole movie.
Yes, you said it's just a start. Do you think we've got the capability to go to the end? Because that's all that matters. You heard Mr. Chitambala Mwewa talk about the other evidence that he has, and it's authentic and factual. That's what Mr. Chitambala Mwewa said. Now, if an ordinary citizen like Mr. Chitambala Mwewa can be able to have access to such profound, factual, authentic, verified data, allegedly, reportedly, do you believe the ACC are going to tuck this in the bud and just basically forget about it? And let's say, for example, there are several forces coming through. Do you think they're just going to give us some smoke and really allow the bigger guys to go scot-free?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they will allow the bigger guys to go scot-free. It's within the mandate of the investigative wings to do what they can do best to bring a case to conclusion. And I
But what if
think
there's restrictions? What if there's restrictions? For example, immunity. So what happens next? If this case can't really go further because there is restrictions such as immunity, or I don't know, people related to some big people are involved. What next?
Mona, you've seen and heard about the political will about the fight against corruption, and I think all our hopes are based on the political will, because in the first place, when the president came out in the open to say he's going to fight corruption that happened previously, present, and the future, it gave us hope because he's the commander in chief and these investigative wings are under him. So that gives us more hope, because when there's this political will, that means these investigative wings are just moving towards that line that the president already stretched, and we are hoping that they will not be just blindfolding us as citizens the way they are doing these cases, but something is going to come out. Definitely, I'm very hopeful that something is going to come out of these issues and cases.
Yes. What would be your reaction if this case just dies a natural death? What would be your reaction, and how would you kindly blame it on President Hakainde Hichilema for not really pushing these people to do the real job? Because everybody knows that there is obviously some illegality. So if this particular case dies a natural death, how will the majority of Zambians react?
I think now I'll speak on my behalf, my opinion. If this case goes silent and doesn't come to fruition, then I'll be very much disappointed, and knowing that everything the buck stops at the head of state. And so if the ACC don't produce results at the end of the day, the blame will come on the head of state, because he has to make sure that he protects our resources, and all the resources that were wasted and used in proceeds of crime should be brought back, and that's the mandate we gave him. So he has to put pressure and see that the results come after. So we are very much hopeful, because the president has given us that light to say he's willing to see that corruption is dealt with.
Exactly. And just to add on to what Mr. Kasongola said, and by the way, we are a diverse panel. We are representing the sentiments of the majority of youths. Now, listen to me carefully, especially to all the investigative wings, and hopefully the office of the president. You see, we gather the sentiments of the majority of Zambians. We curate information. We use artificial intelligence. We use a lot of different sophisticated data to know how the general population feels. And the general consensus is this particular case is something that Zambians are following, and they want to see results. Let's say, for example, hypothetically speaking, Faith Musonda gets away scot-free, and this particular case dies a natural death. That is going to instill doubt in the people of Zambia with regards to how dedicated this particular regime is with regards to fighting corruption. So what am I saying? In black and white, what the people of Zambia need at this particular moment is for the culprits to be brought to, or rather for the culprits to be brought to book. There has to be consequences. There has to be repercussions. there has to be arrests. You understand what the people of Zambia are saying? This is a very instrumental court case, and we really believe it's going to determine the sentiments and how people are going to, or rather the expectations of the people of Zambia with regards to how this particular government is going to be governing Zambia with regards to the fight against corruption. One of the major reasons why PF was chucked out of public office is corruption, lawlessness. If the government of the Republic of Zambia lets this particular case or allows this particular case to die a natural death and there are no consequences, no results, this is what I'm telling the youths to do. Now, at this particular moment, we have over 800 people watching us. We've been going on for almost 3 hours. That's a huge number. Imagine a football stadium with 400 people. That's a lot of people. By the time we wake up tomorrow, this video is probably going to have 60,000 views. Now, listen to me. If there won't be any consequences and there won't be any tangible results, no arrest from this particular case, then Zambians are definitely going to have a low expectation with regards to proficiency from this particular exam. And I'm saying, Mwema Zambian youths, it means some people are privileged than others. It means there are sacred cows. And that is something that shouldn't be condoned. Then it means that ngawaiva ama stencils stationary in government offices, then you shouldn't be apprehended because some other people have got privileges. So the government of the Republic of Zambia should set an example so that they can allow the citizens of Zambia to really abide by the laws, because the young people are watching. If you let these big people go, then it means everybody can do anything. That's what you're telling us. You're telling us that if you steal, if you do
Mr.
other stuff, you can get away.
Mr. Mona, please let me just intervene on what you are saying, which is very important. Just imagine, I don't think it is, I suspect it might be in Mufulira, where 2 young men were gunned down because they entered in a restricted area of a mining site. Was it
gunned down?
Gunned down. Gunned
15
down.
years and 17, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. For now, if those young people, just for suspicion, they are not caught with copper, they are not caught with diamond, they are not caught with gold, they just suspected them and they said they entered a restrictive area, they were gunned down. This is my question, and this is my provocative question to the government. How do you allow, how does the government allow the security to kill a young man, a Zambian young man? We don't know what pushed him to go into a restricted area. We don't know, because
they just want opportunities. Those kids probably
we don't know. He's dead. He's dead.
Yes.
We don't know what pushed him. He's dead. If they killed them, the security guard, the police, they killed them. This is a provocative question to the government. Please think about it. How do you serve people who are criminals? How? And what is your explanation to serving people who are criminals and you kill only a suspect? Thank you, Mr.
Imagine 2 people lost their lives recently. Young boys, 15 and 17. And they were suspects. They lost their lives. And we have people having the audacity to be keeping more than $4 million US and a lot of other things. And these people need not be treated like sacred cows. So my appeal to the government is lead by example. Teach us, the young ones, and give us lessons saying, if you steal from the people of Zambia, that's where you're going to end up. Because if you let people who are doing bad things go scot-free, what is that teaching me? It's teaching me, look, Mona, go out there, be smart, steal, and you can go away scot-free. So give us this example, teach us, and set a precedence for the upcoming youths and all the younger ones. Anyway, I end there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, so any other contributions? Brother Leonard, I think I disturbed your thoughts. What are your other thoughts?
On the same Faith Musonda and the Shitambala connection.
Yeah, anything that you want to say.
Yeah, so I think there is more to watch on the ACC and Faith Musonda case, and I've been surprised until now that the state, maybe we might not know because they do it through intelligence, that Mr. Shitambala up to now, he hasn't been, I don't know if he has been protected or he hasn't been called, that they should listen to the part of information that is keeping and that it knows. Because for Mr. Shitambala standing firm on the ground like that and saying it out loud to say he's not willing to apologize and saying Faith, she's been used on a Thursday, picking whatever sort of English terms that he used, it means he knows way more better than any of us here, and he has full intel that the ACC actually can use. So I think on the Faith Musonda case, it's one that we need to watch closely. It's one that is going to open doors to most of these big fish that supposed to be caged. These guys, to be honest enough, there is still a lot of money and there's still, it's like, you see, we have some scarcity of money in circulation. So to my thinking is that these people, they've stored money in their houses. I don't know if they've got big way of keeping money like the way Mr. Diato did in the past regime. So I think this is a case to watch because it looks like it's going to give us lots of information. We need to keep our eyes and ears open on this one. This is one case that we need to get hold of at whatever point that it breaks out.
Yeah, and just like I said earlier, right, this is going to define how people respond and the expectations Zambians are going to have towards the UPND. So this is a very political case, and it is something which is going to determine a lot of things and people's expectations. So the UPND and everybody involved, you know, be very careful with how you handle this. Anyway, any other additions before we close today's broadcast? Anybody?
Mr. Muna, let me just say these words. The new Dawn government has a huge task to undertake. Of late, we've been hearing about cases dying a natural death, and as Zambian people, we are very fast in forgetting. But I think there's a partial shift in how the citizens take things now. The citizens in this era are more, they are closely monitoring whatever is being done by their leaders. And so my word to the new Dawn government would be, let's stick to our promises, and the fighting against corruption is one of the promises that was given to the people of Zambia. And so such issues like the case of Faith.
Yeah, I think we have lost Brother Joseph there. Anyway, Brother Emmanuel, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Brother Emmanuel.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Mr. Muna, and good evening, panelists.
Good evening.
Yeah, can I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Thank you so much. The issue of Faith Musonda, I think in our previous discussion, I don't know whether it was on this or maybe on the other show, TV show. We talked about that it's just a starting point, because there are a lot of things which will come out of Faith Musonda's case. Even when they extended the olive branch to her, the amnesty for the state to grab the 67 million, the 57 and that house. But we knew quite all right that there are other issues which will come out later. And for sure, already it has come out. And these are leading, they are indicators leading to, as it has been put across, leading to prominent PF members, senior members. There is a lot which is coming out. Faith Musonda is just a starting point. Coming to the issue of, in case of cases that the Faith Musonda issue dies its natural death, believe you me, this regime is trying its level best to ensure that corruption is dealt with accordingly, because that is one of the contributing factor which will see our economy to build the confidence in the investors in this country. For us to build the economy, a sound economy in our country. But we cannot overrule, that is, such cases sometimes die each natural death. But the answer is, then UPND would have dug its grave, because people have really suffered, and people, the Zambians, are looking forward to see that the UPND is doing the right thing at the right time in the right place. There is no other ways to deal with this. The Zambians will be very much happy to see that their money is brought back so that the economy is built. And for sure, even when we have heard that what Mr. Chitambala was talking about, authentic information, and he needs to be protected, for sure. But that information, before it has reached to Mr. Chitambala, believe you me, it is already in the on the table of, or tables of government officials, even the president himself. He has all the information about these clique of thieves in PF. As Zambians, I'm now happy that most of Zambians, at least we are almost 5%, waking up to show that we are responsible to make people accountable in whatever they do. In the future, I would even propose that even these MPs, councillors, whatever, we should sign social contracts with them, so that each quarter, the MP goes back to the people to go and give a comprehensive report and point to something that he has done, failure to which there and out. Then pass. Yes, we pass a vote of no confidence.
This is one of the reasons why we don't have any progress. An MP gets elected, he comes back after 5 years. No accountability ever.
You know, these chaps don't even get back to the constituencies, not until the Some of them, those who have bounced back, it is because of the ticket of HH and UPND. Not that because they have done something. No, literally nothing. But believe you me, next elections, you will see these guys will be chucked out. So we need to have this, such kind of approach towards our country, so that people are held responsible. Once someone is not performing, has to be kicked. We should not have anything to do with, let's give him this, but there and then to be kicked out of politics. We need people who can perform. We need people who can deliver. We need people who can think for the poor of the poorest in society, not sending them to go and build their tummies at the Parliament motel on the expense of taxpayers' money. No. We need serious people, and this is the message we need to send even to UPND. Yes, boss.
Mr. Melo.
Yes, Mr. Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, just to add on what you are saying, probably to just maybe correct one thing you have said.
Okay.
This government, they are saying, just yesterday, the president told the members of parliament, go back to your people who voted you and talk to them and listen to them. So I think this president is very keen on that and is very serious. So they are not going to hide themselves. He is telling them, go back to the people who voted you and explain to them the government policies. I submit.
Yes, and I think just to add on to that before Brother Emmanuel continues, we even as a people, as constituency members, we need to have expectations from our MPs, and we need to have constant meetings with them and say, look, just like Brother Emmanuel said, after 3 months, after this quarter, we needed to have achieved this and that. Pressure, fuck pressure. That's one of the motives of this particular regime. Fuck pressure, consistent pressure. We need expectations. You constituency members, organize yourselves, especially the proactive youths, because we are very vigilant. All the well-meaning members of a certain constituency, organize yourselves, talk to your MP, set expectations and deliverables. President Hichilema talks about deliverables. How do we cipher the bootleg MPs from the proactive MPs? The most efficient ones, the most people who look for ways and make things happen, people who deliver, people who are result oriented. At this particular moment, we're done talking. We're done talking. We need results. Results, that's it. Let's be result oriented from a constituency level, because if people on the constituency level and lower levels are putting pressure, right? Guess who's going to be putting pressure on the president? The MPs. The MPs are privileged enough to be in parliament. In parliament, this is where they can get to interact with the policymakers, with the lawmakers. So all the people on the constituency levels need to organize themselves as vigilant citizens. Let's put pressure on these people. To all the youths in all the various constituencies, it's your time to shine. It's your time to shine. Pick up the mantle, organize yourselves, make sure you are consistently talking to your MPs, give him deliverables. Every three months, there has to be progress. Minus this, what do you need a bloody MP for? You don't need him. Put somebody else or have plans to evict him. Easy. So let's be result-oriented on a constituency level. It's going to trickle down to the highest level. Brother Emmanuel, continue.
Please, thank you so much for that contribution. The other thing is that we should not leave when we want the MP to have an audience with the members or the people in that particular constituency according to the awards and branches. We should not very much rely on the district executive committee members and the constituency committee members, because these guys, they have got this protocol thing which irritates me every time. The protocol bureaucracy destroys the country. So it's better to have the district stakeholders association or committee, which should call the MP at any given time to come and answer, to come and tell the people what is going on. You know, I've loved the way Oscar has put it. The president yesterday spoke to the MPs. There was no need for the president to do that, but because he has seen that it has been a trend, it becomes, even when the parliament is adjourned, it becomes Tandabare. They're just seated in Lusaka, others going to Mfue, others going to Livingstone for holidays, forgetting about their people. Now, the president made an effort to remind them. And when they get back, they should come with more information. A lot of people don't know about this issue of subsidies being removed from fuel. What they are getting is just when the PF pushes the propaganda, that's what they are going to believe. And it will affect the UPND. It needs the people to explain, because we are reading from different forums what they are saying. So the other thing is that UPND also is very blunt on PR. It's not really talking much. It's not really explaining. And when they explain this thing, they should not go into English. Let them explain and give examples in vernacular, so that even the poor of the poorest, the one who has never been to school, will be able to understand it by illustrating through drawings and whatever examples they can give. For the importance, the importance of this person to understand that the subsidies were killing our country, I submit.
Definitely. So you touched a very good point. So, what, Leonard? What do you think about the UPND's PR and media team? Are you satisfied with how the information is being disseminated, and basically how the masses are being sort of made to understand certain things?
Me, I am
No.
not this. Me, I'm not satisfied. Our lady, the UPND madam, the beautiful madam, she's not fit for that job. It's my position, and I stay with that position. She is not fit for that position. I submit.
Leonard, are you satisfied with the UPND media PR team? Unmute yourself.
Oh, okay. First and foremost, the media team of the UPND needs first and foremost to improve the way the information comes out first and foremost. And before I even touch to that, including the information minister, Chushika Sand, I'm not impressed with the way she comes out. She's not all that, I don't know, she's not all that of a, and I know she can learn, but she's not that much of a person who's
Brother Leonard, hold on to your thoughts. Let's do this. Since we are an inclusive platform, to all the people watching me right now, kindly let me know about the UPND PR/media team. Do you feel the Minister of Information is doing a great job? Are you satisfied? In the comment section right now, let me know what changes or what things need to be done differently. Are you satisfied or not? Let me know in the comment section, then we'll be reading your comments. Anyway, Brother Leonard, continue.
Yeah, so according to my point of view, the information minister, she's not accurate and she's not that active. First and foremost, she's not that person who can easily deliver information on a quick start from right there and then. Secondly, I think the presidential spokesperson also, I know he's learning, but he needs to quicken up and pull up his tokens. Like this other information that came up after Rafael Nakachinda said that the president has been meeting judges, trying to intimidate them over the cases that are in at the courts of law. it wasn't supposed to take the. I agreed for once with Chief Yatal, who said it wasn't supposed to take a president to call the likes of Costa Mwanza to say,
Costa Mwanza.
yeah,
Imagine the
to say,
president had to call Costa Mwanza. Come on.
So you see now, so it's more like it brought pressure to the presidency's seat and information of which those are information that the likes of Anthony Wale needs to come out quickly and address to say, no, the president at this point in time, he has said ABC and ABC is not aware, or he has said ABC. And the information minister, whenever she hears malice concerning the president, the first thing that she has to do is to communicate with the people closest to the president. What is the president's response on this one? In the quickest way possible, the people of Zambia needs to hear the president's view and say, not it has to take a president to call Costa Mwanza. And then let's make it Costa Mwanza was his PF. And then he mixed up some things. What next are we going to see? Are we going to see the president again come out say, no, Costa, this is not what I told you. I told you ABCD. That will cause some certain, okay, I think that's a comment.
Yeah, these are comments coming through. But anyway, just continue talking. Never mind about the comments. It's
All
just
right.
people participating in the background.
Yeah, so initially with myself, I feel she's got a lot that she needs to learn. If she can't change to that, would give her until early next year or mid next year. If she doesn't improve, would definitely call for a change of an information minister. Actually, Cornelius Mwito can do a good job on that. It's a no. Yeah, Mr.
I think there's a
Mwito
suggestion. Wakonda agrees with you. He says no, she's not. We maybe need Cornelius Mwita. I think so. Yeah.
Exactly. So Mr. Cornelius Mwito would have done a very better job than her. But anyways, it's the president's choice. But at this point in time, it's us, the people. And then concerning the president telling the MPs to go back to the constituencies, that's a good move. These guys, whenever we vote for them, they run. The only time they come to show up is when the elections are close by. I think I would love the time of amendment of the constitution. We need to put in a clause that says, is it every after 3 months or every after 1 year, MPs should be coming for questionings to say, you promised on ABCD, have you delivered? Equally the president, like the way the Americans does it after a while, whereby they call the president, they ask, you promised ABCD and ABCD, how come we're not moving to this place and this place? I think that would set a very good tone to both our MPs, councillors, mayors and the likes. And then we as youths, regardless of the PF or whatever political party that we've been affiliated to, for now we only have one government, whether we like it or not. All those that were in PF or whichever party, we now have one government and one president. Yes, it's good to shake each other's brains like in arguments, but where productive things are supposed to come to book, let's all be accountable. Let's hold account of the MPs that are elected, whether we voted for them or not. But the development that comes to the constituents, to the ward level, they are supposed to be beneficial to each and every Zambian, regardless of the political affiliations. So at this point in time, I'll leave it here. Not happy with the delivery of Madam Chushika Sanda. She needs more improvement. The media team and the presidential spokesperson also needs to tighten up his belt. Next time, we don't want to see such a thing where a president calls Costa Mwanza to say, no, I didn't say what Chimbaka Muriwati has said, or Rafael Nakachinda. No, it has to take those guys. Immediately they hear something like that, they have to go on the president, or the list that has come out. What should we respond to the people? Are you going to respond on your own, or should we bring out a statement and say, the president has said ABCD and ABCD? I rest my case from here.
Definitely. And for me, I've got an alternative suggestion as well. I really believe in terms of media in general, the UPND is slacking. Because if you look at most of the prominent pages out there, Smart Eagles, Zambia Reports, Mwebantu, these are all PF aligned. So UPND gets drowned, and they can't really compete with the media prowess that the PF have. Because if you look at the fuel, issue. Look at the memes, the way the memes were being done. Look at the posts, the comments. From a PR perspective, the PF has one up with regards to the UPND. The UPND are still slacking. The UPND can't really battle with the PF in terms of PR, because if you look at who was controlling the PR, we've got the Emmanuel Mwambas. Those guys are like professionals with regards to mass psychology using social media. So my advice to the UPND is you need media tactics, media maneuvers as well, because you're going to be drowned in the propaganda, you know. Anyway, continue, Leonard.
Actually, on that one, you are right. Even Watchdog, if you've been following Watchdog of lately, it has become lesser active than the way it has been on these past months. I don't know if they've dropped the ball. So I think if those guys on Watchdog, they've dropped the ball, we need another recruitment. They need to, if it means not sponsoring, I would say as active youths, those of you like they can be briefing the nation the quickest way possible. That is needed, because the smart egos is definitely, that's a PF pushed page. Mwebantu also is one of them, despite them just come up to say fuel or Pamela, but people know each other. Whatever those guys come up say fuel, they even know, oh, okay, the government has messed it up on this one. So like we need a platform. Okay, I would say including the, I would even prefer if this one, Tabo from the Alliance, that man is also very active when it comes to bringing out information. He can be a very good person to be used on such information, because Mr. Tabo knows how to come out, knows how to shoot and where to attack and where to save. I think I'd recommend Mr. Tabo in one of these briefings that the UPND needs to be aware of this. And then on the pages, the UPND shouldn't forget that they won lots of votes from the media. That's one thing that we shouldn't forget. So they need to be proactive on the media. They need to be that vigilant and sharp when it comes to the media delivery.
For sure. Anyway, gentlemen, we've been running for 3 hours, 15 minutes. It's been a long broadcast. So let's give our conclusive remarks. We call it a night. So who's going to go first?
All right, let me go first.
Well, let's pass it over to Brother Emmanuel.
Yeah, I think as we said, even last time, there was a time when the Minister of Information and Media gave a comprehensive statement on the 100 days, where I even congratulated her and I said, I think she should continue pulling up her socks. But I think she has gone back to her old system, of which I feel it's better to have someone else there, because she has been too quiet. She's too executive on that position, too executive. Now, that position, you don't need someone who is like that. We need someone who is able, you know, the ear should be on the ground. Whatever comes, quickly try to analyze it and diffuse it, because the PF are very, they are a step ahead in case people didn't know. So that position, I think the president should look at it and find someone else. He can swap these two. Cornelius Mwetwa comes to Ministry of Information, then Chishu Kasanda goes to Southern Province. It doesn't matter that since Cornelius Mwetwa comes from Southern, he has to be there. No. Even Chishu Kasanda can be the minister there. That we need someone who is sharper, who is able to receive, information. This is, modern life and modern world, which is quite dynamic in information acquisition and dissemination. Very, very important. We have these platforms. They are there to disseminate, get information and also disseminate the information to the people to understand exactly what is going on. Then I've liked what Anthony Waria is doing, but that is a stress also on him. That was supposed to be done by other people, so that he concentrates on other duties at the State House around the president. He's able to explain on the fuel issue. If he can have some people who are able to take up that task, better for UPND. Then there's the director for UPND media. this lady Dante, I think she's not doing her job properly. She's supposed to pull up her socks. She has been quiet. The only time I saw her talking, I don't know whether it was 2 months ago, on the UPND press conference. She should be sharper, other than the way she's doing things. So we need people who are able to push the agenda for UPND, because it is there for the poor, and they have to explain it to the poor what they are doing, other than just listening to PF. That will help UPND to build their confidence in the people, and it will be easier to get into 2026 and beyond, other than just keeping quiet the way they are doing things. Then the other thing is that our councillors, most of the councillors, they have this system of even getting into management issues. I don't understand them, whether these guys are even, oriented on the board charters, because every council should have a board charter where governance issues, they say, nose in, hands off. That is now in management. Nose in, hands off. You are just a policymaker, but you are now getting into the issues of management, even trying to control the controlling officer. That's not the way things are supposed to be done. And when it comes to their time to deliberate on issues, articulate issues in their chambers, you will just find most of them, they are just seconding. And what they second, we don't know. So they should try to train these guys to understand the board charter of a council, an institution like a council. Very, very important in governance issues, corporate governance. Some people are just coming from the farm. They don't know what is a board charter. They don't know what is their role. Even when they are just told in a day, a 2 hours workshop, they will not understand it. But they should be run through the board charter for them to at least have a knowledge about it, and they will be able to know, our boundary is this, our jurisdiction lies within this, so that they don't go beyond. That is the issue also I wanted to talk about on these councillors. They go too much into management. They are not supposed to do that. Theirs is nose in, hands off. I submit.
Which constituency are you representing, Brother Emmanuel?
That is the Kasempa.
Solwezi Mabanga. As a Northwestern, I meant, sorry.
Yeah, Northwestern.
Muchi
Burongo viepi nkambo.
Longo too.
Yeah.
And all that good stuff. All right, okay, let's pass it over to Brother Leonard, then we close it up for tonight.
So on the issue of
anything that you would love to
information,
talk about, therapy, release, all that good stuff. Whatever you feel like talking about, go for it.
all right. So closing up on the Minister of Information, she needs to pull up her socks. She should look at the way the likes of Dora Syria were and how active they were. She needs to beat that. We are in the modern generation, and then the generation that we're into, these are people who are very much keen on information than being quiet and choosing what to tell them. These people that they are dealing with right now, they're not the people that you can choose what to tell them, what not to tell them. They want to hear nearly everything, even if they make sense or they don't make sense. You see? So including it wasn't even supposed to take the likes of Anthony wanted to start explaining why the subsidies. The information minister first and foremost was supposed to come out to say, you people, this thing that you're complaining about, it's actually saving your money. As the PF government was spending this much on the amount of money that was supposed to be used to ABC and ABC, at least just to break it a little bit, not going into further information because she might not be aware of anything like that. Secondly, I would urge all the followers who are following to say, guys, let's make sure that these CDA funds that have reached to our constituencies, let's see to it that they're utilized. Is it on youth programs, the development of the city? So like here in Kafue, I was just said recently, I'm not amused with the bus terminal that is here. The bus station, it doesn't have a flow. It's limbo. The monies now that are in, it has to be looking nice. Drainage system has to improve. So on my watch and on my belt, these guys are going to know me the same way they knew me in Senanga. In Senanga, I made sure that the former MP, I had a one-on-one talk with him. First, it was at the bank. Last was at the bank. The other one, he came to buy.
Pressure.
Like the first encounter I had with the former MP for Senanga, they used to call him Chibonanza. Whenever he met people, he could give him to my 50. So there was a time he came to the next hardware, which was next to my office. Then people shouted, Chibonanza, Chibonanza. Then he started giving them a 10. Then one of the hardware told me, boss him tengako. Then I was like, what will a 10 kwacha do for me when this man here has failed just to bring the gravel here? Gravel. He just looked at me and told him, yes, your 10 kwacha can't do anything for me. A gravel will do some betterness for me. So equally, these people who are here in Kafue, one thing that I'm going to tell them, I'm very vocal, and for the fact that I've met with my friends who I was with at the same college, who are a lot here, who will definitely make noise, and you see to it that these people, they're brought
noise, my brother. That's the only language that they understand. You see, politicians and the way our political environment is set up, they cater to the most noisy people first. This is one of the reasons why they give the empowerment to people like Sarafina, etc. They're only handpicked the most noisy people. So we are ethical, and we're not selfish. So imagine if you have a morally right person who's got all the skills and has got all these technical know-how, and he is or she is for the majority of the people of Zambia. There's going to be major improvement. So that's why everybody needs to pick up the mantle and do it for Mother Zambia. Let's take our people out of this sorrow and let's improve our nation. So, Brother Leonard, organize your people. Since you're in Kafue, organize yourselves. Make a lot of noise. Use all the tactics that you know. Social media, on the ground, do it. That's the language that they understand. Because if we continue assuming that they assume that we know that they're going to do the right job, it's not going to take us anywhere. So wherever you see inefficiency, speak out, point it out. This is the only language politicians understand and listen. So make a lot of noise. Be for the people. Be moral. Don't be selfish. There's other ways of making money legitimately. Plenty of ways you can make money clean. So keep the people in mind.
Yeah. In conclusion, so to say, we'll definitely call these people to book, and then with the youth empowerment, I would urge the government to make sure that this time around they should look at the people who are going there with the good business proposal. Like these other monies that were given out to musicians, that was a waste of money. Like I know a lot of people have got skills, trades, who've got business minded, or who would have improved their lives and the lives of these other people, like the likes of Makitu, who received money, who already had money, Bene Sarafina, all those PF affiliated people. So at this point in time, the monies that the government is releasing to youth empowerment and funds, they should make sure to say that it's given to the right people, and every after now and then, they should make sure to check at the projects that these people will be doing. Are they improving or not? Because these monies, they need to help these guys who we will get, and it should be able to help those that will come up with different business plans in the future to come. Because it cannot take the government to change the economy alone. It has to take all of us, those with business ideas, business plans, skills. It's a site for a nation to develop. It can't take the government on it. So the monies that they've allocated for youth empowerment, women's and the likes, it has to be channeled through the right channel. So for now, I'll end here, and I'll make sure that whoever is our member of parliament here, and I'm told she's a she is definitely on fire. She has to know
and
it.
you should invite her on the platform. Reach out to her and let her come to the corner. This is a base for pretty much a lot of proactive citizens, and she can just have a conversation with us. So fuck a pressure, Muntu, and that's how it is.
After I will try by all means to get contacts of her and see to it. If we won't get it from me, I've got lots of friends who are in the UPND Central Committee. They'll try by all means to give us the contacts that we should, at some point, Mona, let's develop a tendency of bringing members of parliament to this platform. Be it from the ruling and the opposition, let's bring them out.
Yes, sir.
Let them have their views. That the people should see to it that we're not here biasly supporting the UPND. We're here attack the UPND when they mess up, and we'll support them once they're doing the right thing. So let's try by all means and see how we can how best we can have these people join us. At some point, I'd be glad if we can bring in Honorable Garling Combo. Man of the moment.
Yeah, we're working on that one. But anyway, just hit these people up. They need to touch base, and let's keep the page growing. And we are inviting everybody. You see, people have got a tendency to follow the majority. So I usually keep on telling people, look, if you sympathize with the PF, to me, it doesn't really matter. Come over here. We have a conversation and we learn from each other. So everybody is invited. This is not like a UPND sponsored page or a UPND page.
No.
This is just people,
This is the Zambian page.
Yes, you can join us. Literally say if it kumutima. No restrictions at all. Everybody's invited. I don't know why PF sympathizers don't come here. I don't know why Maxwell Chongo doesn't come here, but I see him commenting on the page. I don't know why Charlie Sumusokwe, Charlie the engineer, he's always commenting, but he's never ever facing the people via video, So
imagine we need them again. We need the likes of Tutu Angulube though shooting him early in the morning on the Mwevant, where they posted a picture of like a very short young girl who just passed out as a police officer. when he commented something like at the 2.8 to be waiting for qualifications was in the PF connections were more. It's more like he was also teasing the young girl. Then we're like,
okay.
I mean, did you even take a look at most of these police officers who passed out?
Yeah.
The majority are very young, very, very young. I doubt if they
By
can
the way,
even
is that like a real police? I think that's just a kid who is that real? Like a real?
Those are real, man. I've seen. I
thought that was just like a kid having careers there or something. I didn't take that.
Did you see the gun down there?
But okay. I won't say much because I don't really know. That pic was funny.
We'll leave it for another day. So man, have a good night. Let's try by all means. These PF guys should come on board. These UPND guys should come on board. This page is for Zambians, it's not for the UPND or anything. So they should get that fact through their brains to say they should come here, feel free, say whatever they feel like saying. We're here to share the little that we know and that we might learn.
So, Mulobale Hande, Vo Leonard, Lukabonana Kamuso.
Kamuso, Mulobale Hande Kiminako.
And sure. All right. Okay. Take care. Yeah. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was our broadcast for tonight. And, we did touch a little bit of, or rather, a lot of sensitive issues and all the people that we talked about, right? Don't really take it personal, and in case there's any clarifications that you need to make, come Kuno, come here. Faith Musonda, come here. Whoever is involved, come here. We're inviting everybody. So sometimes we might be a little bit dramatic, but hey, that's how the show goes. And I know we're probably going to pay some heavy prices in the future, but we're prepared for that. So talk to you a little bit later. To other people watching me, kindly share this video. And today we did reach our goal. We are over 500 likes and we're close to 1,000, over 560 shares. And we are at 945 likes. So everybody who just walked in, just, like and share this video. So that's all for today. So we are going to be back tomorrow. I hope we're going to have very good topics because, we just talk about things that are interesting. So I really hope that we are going to have trending topics tomorrow. So people need to do some crazy stuff. I mean, I'm not really wishing for people to do some crazy stuff. I'm saying we need to have at least some trending topics because that really gets us activated in our edutainment sector with regards to the media. So my name is Nalula, and I have been your humble host. Thank you very much for all the people who were participating. Thanks to you. You guys really, really make us do this on a daily basis. So thank you for all the comments. We really appreciate, and all the regular viewers. We know you. We see you. And one day we are going to have a get together sort of function, which is going to be more like a workshop, and we're just going to have fun. We're going to learn and just talk about business, entrepreneurship, and just basically get to know you, the viewers, because mulatupanga sana. And by the way, viewers, if anything happens to me, ngabanji katamujeo, come and bail me out. At least you should make some noise, because we do this for you. Anyhow, talk to you a little bit later. You guys have been awesome. Mulovale hande, Luka Bonana, come. So talk to you a little bit later. Bye.